Cool. So yeah, we're seeing the perspective of only one of the players.
Hmm.
So you can see that before the game, they get a preview of what the other person's team is. Then they get the opportunity to change their team order. And yeah, now they're in.
They're in, and
Yes.
they're
And to
they're
compare to Pokemon, this is an open team sheets format. You know what your opponent has, what their stats are. There's no surprises, only choice. There's no RNG in Beastieball. It is purely based on choice.
So so right now the active player is on offense. They have 3 actions. They can move players around the field, they make passes, and what they're trying to do is look at how they can maximize their damage output. So you can see they have a pretty strong offensive combination here. They've got the Charily, which is a support beastie that boosts the damage of their ally and has lots of support, like damage boosting moves. And then yeah, Brosliden, who's a really powerful physical attacker.
Oh yes,
But
we completely forgot to mention. This is Pryn, team name the Shining Jewels, against Pan, the Galaxy Ghosts.
yes.
yes, that was important.
Um,
So yeah, so the Shining Jewels now are on defense. So after they put the ball over, right, they're trying to anticipate how the opponent's going to attack, and then they're going to try to mitigate damage as much as possible. You saw in the previous turn, their opponent actually totally had a call out. They knew that they were going to target their weaker BT with a physical move, and so they switched in their bulky Digum to take the hit.
and there's another call out right there from Pryn, blocking the opposing Brosliden.
Oh my gosh!
And just buffing up.
So by getting a block, Brooklyn got an easy receive, meaning that they didn't have to pass the ball; they could attack straight away. And so Prince taking advantage of that, they actually had their Charlie cheer twice, which is an unusually plentiful situation. Usually, don't get that many actions to boost your offense, but there they got 2 offense boosts before they hit the move in.
And to those thinking that this looks complicated, technically it is, because you're watching literally the highest level play.
You're watching
that
high
exists.
level
Yeah.
balling.
Yeah, the game itself is quite straightforward and simple, but it can get to these levels, and that's what we're trying to show off today.
You're watching the skill ceiling, as it were. This is
Yeah.
not what a normal game you play will look like.
Unless you want it to be. Yeah, exactly.
I have to say I'm impressed at how fast these players are clicking and thinking too. It's a lot of math and a lot of just trying to guess, right? I mean, a lot of the game kind of comes down to what do you think your opponent's going to do, and then how do you kind of build an answer to that?
That was very cool.
That was really cool.
Yeah, with the Fetch'em using its Watchtower ability to steal the ball away from its ally, so it takes the damage instead. But they also used Shield to block any damage that was coming in, basically. So they tanked that, which would have otherwise been a pretty devastating hit.
And now we're in a situation where Bryn has to choose they have to predict which side they're going to attack.
Yeah.
And they're going to take the knockout on Zephyr right there. Is choosing who gets to be knocked out is a very important consideration. You have to plan for what happens next and not just how to get the next point.
Yeah. Another thing too is that sometimes it's not always bad to get knocked out, because beasties that are knocked out, they'll be on the bench, they'll eventually recover to full health and can come back later. You can be in a trickier spot if you keep you don't lose the point, but you keep cycling out your beasties and get them all to low health, because that puts you in a situation where now you have nothing safe to switch in, and then the opponent can actually catch up really quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're seeing the shield come in again with the Watchtower from the Fetch'em. Just staying at that low HP, but unable to be knocked out.
And as a payoff, they're now at very low HP, and they don't have many options for healing back up. So depending on what Pryn does, they can steal this. She can steal this back from them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Watchtower trait, just for the record, so that giant dog on the bottom right. So their trait makes it so that when their ally is adjacent to them, so it's not diagonal from them, but just next to them on an adjacent square, then any attack that goes to their ally will go to that dog instead. They'll pick up the attack for them. And so that's what Pan's making use of. By doing that, they basically keep redirecting attacks into their much bulkier, tankier dog. And that's helping them to live through even this crazy offense, honestly, that Pryn is putting out. Pryn is getting so many boosts and jazz attacks with some of the strongest attacking beasties in the game.
Yeah,
but
however, Pan's Fetch'em here cannot handle
any more
another
hits.
hit. Yeah,
and the trap. And the trap that Pryn's Handicoot set up is very much going to take some damage, especially if they get to set up any more from here.
Right.
Also, the chat is loving the wet rat. Everyone clap and cheer for the wet rat.
That's a fun little nickname that has come out of some of the coverage for this game.
As I believe it was Ladies Gamers.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Illugus, our fun little mushroom dinosaur over there, has chosen to use clear field, so the traps are not as effective, but and you're going to get some healing, but that does mean Pan has to keep taking it off if they want to avoid trap.
Right. Yeah.
It looks like Mashroom has to switch out. Anyways, the dig him takes out. And with the last healthy beastie being Handicoot, I don't know if Pan can take this one.
It looks like they're going to be good for at least one more hit, but
Let's see what they do with it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. They're going to have to try to stall out for a little bit longer. One nice thing here is that their Fetch'em does actually have some health back. If they can get Fetch'em onto the field safely, they could shield to live through another move, but I guess the tricky thing is that, because Fetch'em always redirects attacks into itself, it might be totally unsafe to switch in at this point, especially if there's any more traps on the field.
Oh, we see the demanding set.
One of the riskiest moves. Oh my goodness.
Not quite enough.
So, demanding set, that's a move that only Handicoot can use. That's the blue wet rat on the right side field. And what that does is it boosts the offense of their ally tremendously. It's a passing move. So they pass the ball to their ally, it boosts their offenses tremendously, but then it makes both BCs stressed, which means that they're soon going to be tired. So they
won't be able to do anything on their next turn, but that's if they survive to the next turn.
I think Pan can't do anything here.
There's one thing Pan can do, I think.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
I think if
they brush slide in front of the Handicoot, that would be
that would have been such a crazy play. But they would have been in a lot of trouble regardless, because both the Bro Sliden and Handicoot would have been tired.
And so Pryn takes the first point. Will you update the board, Damien?
Yes, absolutely.
And I think that match is a good example of just how nutty the game can get. Because even if they're boosting up to the high heavens, you can do some nutty things to claw your way back up.
Mm-hmm. And so here we have it set to win or serve. So Pryn is going to be serving to start the next match.
And Pan has the option of changing their team. I'm going to alert them to that.
Yes, just to make sure, because these are like fresh tournament rules for everyone, so we just want to make sure everyone knows
we're all kind of learning for the first time. That was such an exciting first game.
Yeah, it was great. There was a lot of back and forth. Pryn even lost that first point, but came back. Which is always cool to see.
It was really, really, really cool. Interesting to see. Yeah, like Pryn has such an aggressive offensive team with so much boosting, where I feel Pan has a much more kind of defensive. Like, they're not exactly stalling. I would call it more of a balanced team, where they can tank hits pretty well. And in the first point, it seemed like it worked really well for them because they were able to tank through everything Pryn was dishing out.
We can confirm.
Eventually,
Pan said they wanted to switch to their B team.
Oh, and so we're seeing the rally team we were first talking about.
Oh boy. As Greg mentioned earlier, rally is a field effect, sort of analogous to weather in Pokemon. They can cause a field effect that will make spirit attacks much stronger, and mind attacks, which are blue ones, like the wet rat has,
weaker. Yeah,
it makes them weaker.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting matchup because Pryn, playing from the left side, is using some spirit offense, and they're using some mind offense as well, but the rally is not necessarily going to be a strict negative for them. If they can...
That bird has Blaze, and I'm afraid. Blaze is an attack that will boost its spirit attack by 3 boosts, which is about doubling and then some their attack power.
Yes. Yeah, it's like a 2.5x increase to their offense.
At a cost of a good bit of stamina. Let's see if it pays off.
Well, here it comes. Here's a Blaze, bring the heat.
Oof.
Bro Sliden is probably one of the tankier beasties that are in the game.
Yes, I believe Bro Sliden currently has the highest base stat total of all beasties in the current playtest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is a lot of damage.
I also
and this is a very interesting choice here that Pryn just made. So we haven't explained this yet, but the game actually has sideways moves. Whenever someone targets an attack, it'll go down one of the lanes, like the squares that way. Usually they're going straight, but some moves go sideways, and actually Pryn's Sax, the Zephyr, the red bird in the front row, they have a move called Cut Shot. Had they used Cut Shot, they would have attacked the front row, and that actually would have been an instant win. But
I believe Pryn might have expected Surges to see that and move to the front row, but they did not.
yeah, it was like a double layer mind game where the other player
Looks like she might go for it.
Cover that. So then they went for something that was going to do more damage had they moved to the front row.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I think is that they're not going for the win straight away. They're trying to deal damage across the team.
Which makes sense because Cheerilee has very strong spirit defense, and it's easy to put in the front row here. Cheerilee is actually the most common beastie in all of the teams that were assembled. I think that's quite funny.
I think it's just a testament to how good of a support it is.
Yes, it is a very strong supporter. Just by being on the field, every ally's attack will do plus 10 damage.
Yes, yeah, which makes a big difference. So if your attack would have done 90 damage, that means it's going to turn to a 100 damage attack, and that's going to wipe out an enemy in one hit instead of two. So, yeah, it makes a big difference.
Pryn making the bold choice to switch in their Cheerilee into their server slot, which means that if she gets this point, that Cheerilee is going to have to serve, and I don't think that's going to be very strong. Is she going for the cut shot? She's going for it. Zephyr is flitting. That means it cannot be blocked like most beasties.
Wow.
Yeah, which let it get the KO there.
Yes,
that is a wonderful use of an uncommon trait.
And here we're seeing
who's coming in next?
A very strong Cheerilee serve.
Yeah, this is looking really rough for the rally team because they've worn down a lot of the health. They're gonna have to stall out, I think, a fair amount before they can bring back something tanky enough to kind of withstand attacks here.
The dog might be able to make a difference, but not quite yet.
They do have shield on their Fetch'em, so that's actually a big deal. The Fetch'em can actually redirect moves to itself, and it can. Oh no!
Oh, but the Cyclone.
Both parties members, both birds have Cyclone that will switch out the opponent, and it is being used to great effect.
Yeah, because
one thing I should also note, in the normal game, you are able to right-click to undo an action before you end your turn. These players do not have that luxury. They are playing and committing to what they click.
Yes, yeah. So that is definitely if you're used to playing the single player, that can be pretty difficult moving into a PvP situation. But that's just one of the things you have to adapt to. And yeah, these players are making a lot of decisions very, very, very quickly. Honestly, I'm really impressed just looking at how quickly they're looking at the opponent's moves, looking at the damage calcs and then making decisions about how to handle that situation. I'm very impressed with the level of play we're seeing here.
Mm-hmm, and it's only the first round too, and it's literally first match.
I did see some concerns thinking 3-point games might be better. We did think of that. It would be a very long stream.
Yeah, we initially the game was designed with 3-point games being the standard for PvP. Then I made some stall teams versus Greg. And we decided, actually 2 points is better.
2 points is better in this particular instance.
A 2-point game is usually about 10 minutes long. I mean, it's a lot of time. And in the single player game, it's a lot of people are missing context because in the single player game, a 3-point game is like a boss fight. And so you'd expect that to be the standard for PvP. But in reality, when you're going against another player,
it can take quite a while if you end up in something of a stalemate.
Even if it's not a stalemate, just two players that are actually playing rationally and trying to mitigate damage as much as possible and just play to their best outs. They 1 point they can make last a long time. As you can see here, I was saying that Pan was in trouble with the health of their team, but they've managed to use a lot of smart switching and repositioning.
They're holding out. They're
holding out. Yeah.
Bird comes in. Cheerilee has recovered from being wiped, which means it can come back on the field if it wants.
Yeah.
What are they going to do now?
Pan is in a very good position compared to how they were even a couple turns ago. That's the game.
And Pan takes game too. That is impressive.
Okay, we're at 1-1, folks.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, the rally team. Right. I didn't believe. I saw how poorly it was doing in the beginning, and I thought that it was it, but
that's just enough. Just enough.
Wow, we're at 1-1 in the very first match. This is
very exciting.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess one nice thing about the rally. So in the beginning, Pryn was pretty perceptive in knowing that they should have some spirit offense on the field, and so that's how they were fielding early on, taking advantage of the opponent's rally. But once Pan broke through Pryn's like spirit offense, Pryn was forced to field their Lugus and their Handicoot for offense, and that meant that they were actually way more susceptible to rally. They couldn't do as much damage, and yeah, the stronger spirit attacks eventually broke through.
I would like to quote Pan in our current little planning chat. I feel insane.
Yeah, this is, I mean, being the first tournament for Beastieball, I also imagine it's the first tournament setting that a lot of these players have ever been in.
Yes,
so-
people have been planning and practicing all week. It still won't prepare you for the real thing.
Yeah. This is, it's been incredible. I'm having a lot of fun watching this level of Beastieball. I've only ever gotten to play with like other people in the dev team basically, so it's just really cool to see. Also, just diversity of teams. It's really fun to see like how different players are approaching it, the different play styles, and just what BCs they're bringing into every match.
And speaking of diversity, I ran the calcs last night. We've only got about a third of what like would be considered competitively viable beasties like available to these players right now. So
Wow.
So
Right,
what?
this is
Very
very
exciting to
fun
hear,
meta.
especially since Greg has long gone on record saying that the hope with Beastieball is that every line of beasties will be competitively viable. Maybe not the best for everything, but they are all able to be used in a competitive setting.
I've definitely done my best to make sure. I remember I spent an entire afternoon on the Shuga line, just being like, I need to make this little possum good.
Okay, anyway, we're here in the third match, and it looks like Pryn? Those are the same teams, right?
Pryn did not change teams. They checked their other team and chose not to change it.
Got it. Okay.
All right.
We're seeing Handicoot's captain ability, which moves their ally to the front row when they volley. It is very strong.
It
Yeah.
definitely is among the better traits in the game, for sure.
Yeah. Actually, another interesting thing that makes this meta different from the release meta is that because players in the playtest setting, they have limited access to items. They only can access what's in the first couple hours of the game. And so one of the few items that they get access to is an item that changes their Beastie's trait. And there are some traits that Beasties only get when you use this item in the game.
Right.
So it's been really interesting just to see like what players have chosen to use that item on.
Yes.
Because they
In the current playtest, they only have access to 2, correct? Per save file?
I think that's correct. Yeah.
Yes.
So like that Handicoot having the captain trait that Robin mentioned, that's only. Oh my gosh, that has a lot of damage. Yeah, the captain
Rough
trait-
rally hit. What are we going to bring in next?
Yeah, we should talk about the game.
But okay, so Pryn is definitely on the back foot here. Pan's rally team is really proving to
Once
be
they have the rally
solid.
up, they're doing some good damage.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be very careful of what they do next.
And yeah, but you see that Pryn actually has her Zephyr out as well. So Pryn is also capitalizing on the rally here.
Yes. Yeah. Right now, Pryn's gonna get a boost damage from a rally, but first she needs to get through this attack, which just barely lived. Zephyr actually has, I think, the highest spirit defense of the BCs in the playtest. Maybe them or Charlie, but yeah. So
They're up there. They're both
taking-
very, very good.
The fact they're taking that much damage from attacks is also just a testament to like how much
Okay,
offense.
They did not take the bait. They did not go for fetch him, which is good because that would make counter even worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, is that
Handicoot
a-
is recovered. What will Pryn do next?
Yeah, so counter, just for context, does like bonus damage if the beastie who used it also received the ball last round.
Right, yeah, which goes really well with their Watchtower trait. But okay, we've got Bro Sliden on the field.
Yep, that would have been my pick as well. And Sliden, in case you didn't know, has an ability that turns their normally useless free ball into a 60 power attack.
And you can see there, it can actually... Oh, but it's not enough.
Yeah,
not
with
enough in
shield-
this case.
shield, There was no way.
Yeah, the Watchtower shield is just such a powerful combination. We've definitely had to...
They have some options. They're not completely out of luck, but that is very rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've definitely had to take, like, from the development side, had to take a look at that combination a lot and make sure it was not like it
Completely
can
dominant.
yeah, it can be good, but it's not the only thing to do at this point. But
Yeah.
it is obviously still very good.
Yeah.
Yep.
The thing about Shield, maybe the most important thing to know if you're not familiar with the game, is that it's a move that gives you boosted defense for 1 turn, but then it also makes your Beastie angry, meaning they can't use support actions. And that's important because it means that on this turn, even though Fetch'em shielded in the previous turn, now they can't. And with that given,
Pryn gets the point.
Pryn gets the point. So in that situation, the Fetch'em couldn't shield, and they also couldn't withstand an attack. So they had to tag out because if Fetch'em was standing next to the opponent, they were going to take the move for their ally. So the Pan was actually in a pretty tough choice. I don't know what their options were even for surviving that. They could have repositioned maybe if they had like a perfect read on where the attack was going to be targeted, but yeah, that's like Shield has basically what I'm saying is its disadvantages as well.
This might be it. But Zephyr has a lot of damage incoming, and I don't think Handicoot will take it. I don't know if they'll take it.
Oh yeah, with the blaze.
No,
Oh
with the
my
rally
God.
boost. That is it.
A
Pryn has been
one
taken
hit
out
right up.
with after a battle of attrition. Wonderful, wonderful work.
Yeah, and I think Pryn might be feeling a sigh of relief here as well, because they get to go to
Given that
bed.
it's like the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And they have school tomorrow.
Yeah. But unfortunately, yes. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it back now to the bracket, so we can look at the bracket here. Yeah, so the bracket will update shortly. But yeah, that was a great match, great showcase of
Thank you so
Rally.
much to the players.
Thank you so much for both of you. Now Pryn can take a well-deserved rest, and they'll find out what happened afterward.
Yeah.
Wonderful job, Pan. I am currently updating. We do have a live challenge set up. We did not. I don't think we said that for us. We have something on challenge.com. I don't know if we have a link public anywhere,
Yeah,
do we?
I think it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they're seeing it here. Okay.
Cool.
So next up is going to be Sun Eater and Roaring Dragons. Let me just pull up their teams. Really
Sun Eater of the Roaring Dragons,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we have Scissors. We have Scissors, and I can't read it from the way my screen is set up right
Giant
now.
bugs. It's Scissors and the Giant Bugs versus Sun Eater and the
Giant
Roaring
bugs,
Dragon.
wonderful.
Yeah. So in the game, you know, you're managing a sports team basically, right? A sports team of monsters, and you actually can choose your team name. So the team names that we're talking about here, like these are actually chosen by the players in the game. You'll also see them like come up when they're in the matches. Yeah, I just think that's a fun thing.
So just pulling up the teams here. Yeah. So just my commentator friends, can you guys see this?
No, no, I can't. But
Okay.
I'm watching the stream on Twitch.
Okay. Yeah, we can just comment on that.
You want to turn your camera on or something? Is that that a thing?
Sure. Give
that-
me a second. Okay. There.
Oh yeah, there you go. Now I can see it.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. These are the previous teams. Just give me a second. The amount
Yeah.
of
Well,
jank.
yeah. Now we've seen how effective that rally team was. Coming into this match. Yeah. Okay. So there are some new Beasties on this one that we didn't see in the last game. Of course, there's the Bro Sliden that we're familiar with, but we've also got a Silusk here. And I was actually looking through stats yesterday in anticipation of this, and I realized that Silusk, I think, is the single Beastie with the highest offensive potential in the playtest right now. Now, the downside of them is that their damage is reduced by Rally. So if they're going against a Rally team, then Silusk is not going to be able to hit that hard. But in any other context, they're a very, very scary opponent to go into. This Silusk setup specifically that Scissors is running is really exciting, interesting to me because
Yes, I got to see it in action. I am very afraid of it.
I have never seen this strategy run before. So they've got this move called Rainbow. That's their main offensive move. The way that it works is it can only be used from the back row, and it targets the opposing team's back row sideways. But they've got a move called Lock Target, which allows them to make an opponent noisy. Usually, noise is something that you apply to yourself, and what it does is it draws all attacks to the Beastie that's noisy. So usually it's a defensive tool, but Scissors is actually using it as an offensive tool. They're going to make their opponents noisy to make sure their rainbow attack goes into whichever opponent they want, which is going to make it really, really hard. If the opponent has, no matter what kind of redirection they have, for example, if they had a Fetch'em or other BCs that could redirect attacks, they're not going to be effective because Silas can just lock target and make sure the rainbow goes into the BC they want to hit.
Yes, noisy.
So-
Noisy as a feeling, aka status effect, it does override any other redirecting skill or trait.
Yeah. If 2 BCs are noisy, then it's as if nothing is noisy. So that goes back to default. But yeah, and anyway, that's just one BC on this team. There's a bunch, like...
There's
this team
all sorts... I'm scared. You see that little squid there? I'm scared to death of that squid. I hope to see more of it.
Yeah, the squid is a personal favorite one of mine. So the squid has a trait that is very good at boosting. So their protein trait means that anytime they get a boost for any of their offensive stats, it gets spread out to all 3 of their offensive stats. And that squimage is running a move called Energized. We're talking about the squid on like the kind of the bottom, the right middle side, just for the record. The names aren't on here. But yeah, so they've also got a move called Energized, and that move gets stronger the more boosts they have. So it's actually quite weak at the outset. They're not a good server, but if you let them sit on the field for a little bit and accrue some boosts, then they are probably actually the highest potential offensive beastie. So whereas Silas can deal damage right from the get-go with their base offensive stat, Squimage can boost to much higher levels of damage much faster than most beasties can in typical competitive settings. So yeah. Again, there's a lot of very creative beasties here that I haven't seen other players in the bracket using as much. So I'm really excited for Scissors' team here, and just to see what they wield. I mean, and this is just their A team.
Yeah, we could talk about these teams all day, but we should be getting into the match shortly. Just updating some stuff. But here's another team for us to look at, which is Sun Eater's A team.
Yes. So Sun Eater is also using a squimage, and using a moveset that actually seems a bit easier to wield with 2 different attacking types. And yeah, no way to tag out. Oh, okay, wait, we got the match starting.
We're switching over.
They both players are ready. They've got things going.
Yeah, and
Please
we're
have patience.
This is Scissors' perspective. So Scissors is actually using their B team. I think, Scissors is using their B team, and their opponent is using their A team. Sun Eater, is using the A team.
Yeah, Sun Eaters. I've played against this team. It's very frightening.
Ooh.
And scrimmage is no joke. It is defensively quite weak. It is no joke.
Yeah. So yeah, Squimage is unique. That's the Squid BC that's serving right now. So they're unique in that they actually have strong offenses in all 3 attacking types. Their defenses are total garbage. So you need to find ways to help preserve them and keep them safe if you want them to be on the field. But if you let them sit on the field for a while, then they can become, very scary offensively.
That's not immediately a threat, as Watchtower can eat both of those attacking types very well, but I am still quite worried.
Yep. And so here we're seeing Scissors' B team, which actually does also still have that Silas set that I was discussing, but it's paired with a Demolipede, and that's another beastie with the Watchtower trait that can redirect attacks to it. And so that means that, they have a very, very good defensive setup here. Demolipede can sit next to Silas, tank hits with shield, and then Silas can continue to boost its offense and get strong hits on the opponent.
Yeah.
The downside of this strategy is that they lose quite hard to sideways moves. So if it was that Sun Eater had a sideways move that could target the front row, then Scissors would not have any way to stop that. But because Sun Eater seems to be running a more straightforward offense team, they're going to have a lot of trouble breaking through the shield, at least in the first couple turns of the game.
Oh, and Sun Eater here is in a weird spot because they didn't have any offensive beasties switched in.
Yes, that's the trouble with focusing around one offensive beastie. It looks like Zephyr might be able to make some magic, but that's only if they bring him in.
Yeah. That's always the risk. So it's often pretty effective to have at least one beastie that doesn't have any attacks at all and is purely support. In this case, Sun Eater has 2 of those beasties on their team, and both of them are on the field right now on his team.
Goodness.
Quite frightening.
The lock target telekinesis is so smart.
So scary.
Yeah.
It's an immediate threat to almost anything. Beetleback, we're seeing Beetleback new on the scene here.
Yes, Beetleback, the football beastie. So Beetleback also often has the captain trait. I think that must be the one that Sun Eater's going with here. And what the
Yes.
captain trait does, it's like we discussed in the last game, same as Sandicoot. Whenever they pass the ball, it moves their ally to the front row. It's a very, it sounds small, but it's actually a very big deal because, like, for example, that Zephyr has a lot of moves that are more effective or only usable when they're in the front row. And so when paired with this Beetleback, yeah, they can get a lot of offensive potential out. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, we can't forget, Zephyr has aside from flitting, Zephyr's usual trait is Maverick, which means that it will ignore any traits that would otherwise affect its attack.
Yes, so that Watchtower trait that Demolipe's been using.
Oh, bad call.
Yeah. Just blocked the absolute wrong beastie there, unfortunately.
I mean, it's totally how it goes because in that situation, so like Plumask, the one who they tried to block, is generally the more aggressive beastie. They have very high offensive stats, and I think it actually was a totally reasonable, rational play to try to block them, expecting them to come in for a hit. Demolipede is more of a tank that doesn't usually go for a hit, and I think that just goes to show like how smart of a play that was from Scissors to attack with their beastie that is otherwise not the offensive one because. Yeah,
I absolutely love that
Sun-Eater
play
is
because
switching his team.
yeah, I loved that play mainly because the Demolipede was just playing the tanking role the
Be sure to
entire
update
match.
the board, Damien.
Oh
yes, right. Yeah, they didn't even show they had. I mean, obviously they could see, but they hadn't used any attacking moves the entire game. So it was kind of like a bait or a conditioning situation where they weren't even looking at Demolipede as an offensive threat. And that's the perfect time.
I will say, as a trade-off, this Sun-Eater's scrimmage set does much better on serve because they can get off and assess.
Yeah, right, if they're receiving
when they start on defense. Right? Yes. Yeah. Being able to start with an assess is going to be a big advantage for the scrimmage here. And they know they're not going to be able to get hit, like, taken out in one shot from anything. Now they've had an assess, their damage output is going to be a lot higher than what we've seen before. But it may
and they
or may not.
And they don't immediately have to worry about Demolipede, which is really scary. Okay, they did see that one coming.
Yeah, that's funny.
But now that's enabled Bristleiden to do something very frightening. What will Sun Eater do about it?
Yeah, that scrimmage can't survive this. Oh, we're in the same situation now, unfortunately, where Sun Eater is
his most defensive beasties are the only ones that can reach in.
Mm-hmm.
But if he can't slow down the opponent, there's not much that he can do about it.
Yeah, this is why it's often good to give, to make sure that you have an attack on most species on your team. I mean, the trail actually does have an attack, the reach shot, which hits the front row and prevents the target from doing any attacks. So it's a very good move. And in the previous point, had Scissors overthought and gotten too scared of the scrimmage the way that we, the commentators, were, they might have tried to do something defensive and stay in the back row, and they would have lost to that reach shot in the front row. But they were able to.
Good job. Good one.
Yes.
But still, Sun Eater is stuck here with not being able to do any damage.
Sun Eater has gotten himself in a little trap, but it is a matter of whether he can do anything about it, and I don't know if he will.
He's gonna have to tag one of these beasties out at some point before he can conceives this point. Or he might just be looking for ways to, like, at this point, because he's got his Diggum at such low stamina, it might be to his benefit to just let Diggum take a knockout so that he can put Diggum on the back line and let them recover. Because only 19 stamina right now, they're not going to be able to tag in most situations.
Alternatively, he could let Squimmage take the fall so that it can recover and and deal more damage later.
Yes, yeah. Those are options here. Or they can try to live through this. I mean, the Beetleback has
Beetleback. That's not a bad switch either.
Yeah, it might be a little bit too little, too late for the Beetleback because they have the higher body defense, but because they've let Scissors kind of sit on the field and accrue their offense, they're going to have a much harder time now. They're kind of behind on the numbers game basically. Scissors had more time to build up their offense. They've got both beasties in the front row. Which this is a situation where Rainbow would be an instant win, right? Hitting the back row sideways. But again, Sun Eater's team is all like straightforward attacks here, so they're gonna have to try to break through this wall of buff boys. That's coming
And
in
note
with
that
muscle
Suneater has
memory.
not taken a knockout, so he has to be very careful about who he chooses to take the knockout.
Yeah, yeah.
There's an alternative world here where Scissors went for the Charlie there, which would have done so much damage to the Charlie. Not knocking it out, but if you have two Beasties that are at low stamina on the field,
Yes,
you can
that is what the community has. The community has talked a lot about the 50-50 scenario, where there's two Beasties you can target, and you have to predict which one your opponent will go for.
Yeah,
Because sometimes it's not even the right choice to target the Beastie that is already wiped.
Yeah, it's true. It's totally true. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, this
So-
is.
And yes, something to note for those in attendance. This game is in progress. This is going to be in early access before the end of the year. Not all the art is completed. That will not be the final game.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Good. It's good to remind people. Yeah. So some BCs you'll see have finished animation, but a lot of them have sketches for some of the poses, and yeah, that's something that we're obviously still working on. But you can definitely get a feel for what the beasties are like, even from these drawings.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, if you're experiencing some stutters, I'm also experiencing them. It's because we're watching the stream of the players. So this is the best we've got right now.
I think it's going totally fine.
Yeah, no, it is. I'm just putting some asterisks. That's all.
Yeah, I appreciate the asterisks. So yeah, it looks like now Suneater's had a
It
chance
looks
to
like
get-
it's over. Maybe
Yeah.
I think there's things that would have been. Pardon me. I think there could have been something with this team with the slightest change in move pool, but we're too late past that now. I still am very happy with what Suneater came up with, and we got to see a little taste of the squid.
And on the other hand, I'm very impressed with Scissors. Just a domineering performance here.
For real.
Yeah, it's honestly even going like this looks like one of the more creatively constructed teams that we've gotten to see.
All right.
Great work.
Don't quite know what happened there, but I think we know what actually happened.
Yes, yeah, no, I think the stream just skipped over those frames, but yeah, that's a win for Scissors. Congratulations and thank you to both players again. That was an awesome match.
So just gonna go back to the bracket here, and just do some background shenanigans.
I've
All
alerted
right.
our next matchup and asked who's to stream. I have updated this.
Cool. So our next game is going to be by Reverie and the Nervous Folks versus Cog and the Rutile Lights. Yeah, I don't actually know. I don't know much. I can't remember what these players' teams are like. But I have seen them playing quite a bit in the PvP channel this whole week. So I'm very
Let's take a look, shall we?
Yes. So, we're looking at nothing, and now we're looking at Cog. Okay.
Cool.
So this is one of Cog's teams. Looks like
interesting.
a pretty balanced team here. We've got all the different move types being represented. We've got some...
and I would say
another
mind
Charlie.
more mind offense than we see in other teams. Like we have two mind attacking beasties paired up together, which is not something I've seen other players using yet. Mind in general is I think the players right now are not that like they see mind as kind of the weaker one, which kind of makes sense with some of the lower level beasties. It's just the way the playtest meta has shaken out. But yeah, Cog is kind of leaning into the mind stuff. That can be effective because a lot of beasties are like weaker to mind attacks. And of course, yeah, they've got some really fun strategies here with Lay Trap as well. That's another field effect, and that's similar to Rally. Well, in the sense that it's a field effect, but it's actually totally different. The way that Lay Trap works is that every time they use Lay Trap, they will put down some kind of like spikes on the opponent's terrain. And an opponent that has traps on their field, whenever they tag a beastie in, they'll take damage to the beastie it's tagging in. So it's kind of a passive ability, but you can stack quite a few layers of traps, and that can make it really, really tough for the opponent to tag beasties in. So if you pair that with a really good offense that makes the opponent want to tag out a lot, you can whittle down their stamina pretty rapidly. It can be a very scary strategy that doesn't doesn't act quickly, but if you let it build up over the course of a game, it's gonna build up. It's gonna do a lot of damage. We're down the opponent team.
And I think we're ready to
I would also
actually
like to note
start.
something quite a bit amusing. we haven't seen much mind representation, specifically because of a beastie we have not seen yet in the bracket.
Yeah, there's a hard mind counter beastie that no one's actually used, but if someone did use it, then they would hard counter mind. Anyway, we're going into the
I
game
think that
now.
maybe we'll see it later. I don't remember if it's on any teams yet. Sadly, a fun surprise for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just a moment. And there we go, full screen.
Okay, we got this. We have our teams.
Ooh, it's a little stuttery, folks. Apologies.
Get a little fuzz in the signal.
Yeah.
We're also seeing Ostracized, the metamorph of Kitschik, one of my favorites.
Yes, so after Silas, Ostracized is actually the beastie with the highest offensive potential in the game by default. They're a body attacker. They're one of the starter beasties. Not the final form, even they're just a teenager, but already one of the strongest offensive beasties in the game. Yeah, I think it really honestly smart of Reverie to use them because not a lot of other players have recognized the offensive potential of Ostracized. When combined with their trait. So they've got a trait called Overwork, which boosts the damage of their attacks even further at the expense of stamina. That's a hidden trait they got using an item, but it means that their damage potential is honestly pretty massive with the risks attached to it.
Yeah.
We are not getting sound from Reverie. That's sad. Can we put on some music, Damien?
Nope, I got sound. I just
Let's turn that up then.
Yep, we have. Okay.
So yeah, Cog's strategy here is really interesting. We actually saw this used earlier. It usually is a fallback where it looks like this is almost Cog's main offensive strategy here is to have Bro Slide in use their powerful.
I mean, like nothing can take this. Nothing can take this at this time.
So much damage. So yeah, just like I said, right, that Ostracized offensive potential is just massive. And you can see even here, right, serving the attack, no boost. They can do 50 damage or more to almost everything on the opponent's team, which is a big deal. Because that means that they have almost nothing safe they can tag in. Now I don't remember Cog's entire loadout. You'd hope that they have something like a shield, or other ways to heal so they can keep their stamina up because they're taking quite a bit of damage to the team. Now here comes the downside for Ostracized. Despite all that power, their defenses are not super great, and of course they're rolling down their own stamina every time they attack. So no time left for them in the field.
And this particular loadout also isn't making use of some of Ostracized's more defensive options.
Yeah, it's an all offensive, all risk, all reward strategy. So here, oh my gosh, yes. Now this Bro Slide, and I really like this set they're using. They're using a move called Deep Breath during defense that heals their stamina. We haven't seen other players using healing like that. But on Bro Slide, this is great because they're very tanky. I mean, because they've the opponents actually been putting all their offense onto Bro Slide, trying to move them from the field. Bro Slide's actually been able to tank and stay on the field for a lot longer using those deep breaths, and that's given Cog a lot of time to kind of reposition their ally and keep their offensive running. Even while under threat from this powerful Ostracized.
And we see Handicoot has been running Zigzag, which is a move that gets stronger each time the ball has been volleyed this turn, which can be quite frightening.
I just want to acknowledge the Collidarn here is about to do so much damage.
Yes, Collidarn, a beastie who loves to receive the ball and hit back strong. This is the power of counter.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, if I had to characterize, I would say that whereas Cog's team has a lot of
a very strong game. That is a strong showing from Reverie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would describe Cog's team as a balanced team and Reverie's team as high risk, all offense team. There's a lot of fun gimmick strategies here and beasties that are powerful in very certain contexts. So we haven't seen Collidarn yet, the Dragonfly. Their trait's really interesting. They're a very, very frail beastie, but whenever they receive an attack, their team gets an extra action on the following turn. So
Cog is keeping their team.
Okay, so same teams.
Cog of the Rutile Lights. This is quite exciting.
It is very exciting. It's very fun to see some of these strategies played out.
Yeah, Reverie, the way Reverie's playing is basically the way I play when I'm. I just go all in on I have two beasties that are these are my cannons, and every other part of this team is to basically facilitate blasting this ball as hard as possible.
Sometimes you just want to hit the ball real good.
Sometimes you do, yeah. And there are a lot of ways.
Loving Versus the Mega Beast, one of the most popular songs in the soundtrack.
Yep. Yeah, so all the other teams that we've seen, they use a lot of boosting and defensive measures over the course of many turns to kind of get their offenses up. Whereas Reverie's team here, like, these are beasties that right from the moment they hit the field, they're doing a lot of damage. They can also, there's also like certain like move effects and traits they're taking advantage of to boost the damage initially. The downside is that I think if this game goes for more than like 6 turns, they're probably gonna have to lead their own stamina. But as long as they can survive long enough to keep up their offense, like they can break through these teams really, really quickly. And I mean, here you can see right there. So Offside in the front row, getting a block, getting an easy receive. That means they get 2 cheers. They get a doubled offense attack coming back in, and that's an attack that's doing
it
like
is
200 damage.
I mean, if you let that happen, nothing doing about it.
Nothing doing about it, yeah. I mean, that took their entire it's basically a trade, right? They use their entire stamina bar to deal all this damage to the opponent's team. But I mean, damage is damage, so and a point is a point. So now we've got an Ostracized, like serving again, just dealing so much damage. It's really really incredible, honestly, how much damage they can do, unboosted right from the get-go.
Yeah, that's the power of overwork.
Yeah.
That is the power of overwork. Ostracized's usual trait is power up, which is analogous to the sort of Blaze, Overgrow, Torrent, where they are stronger when they are at less than 1/3 HP.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, they're using the hidden trait.
They're using the hidden one, which is less of a boost, but it happens all the time forever. All right, we're finally switching out the bird.
Yeah, the bird is not going to be able to survive anything. So, and I love this read from Cog. So he targeted, instead of targeting the beastie that had lower stamina, they targeted the beastie that he was going to stay in to try to make the opponent's field have less stamina overall. Now Sun Eater, like he saw through, Reverie. Reverie saw through that and tagged in the Demolipede to absorb that attack on behalf of Charlie. And so now we're seeing, it looks like, so that was kind of a pivot right there. They moved into Demolipede to take the first attack. They try to get some offense back in. Now they're going to tag out again. You could say it's a revolving door of Beasties here. They're trying to get their next offensive specialist, the Collider, on
trying to maneuver into a more favorable position.
The tricky thing with running pivots like that, though, is you can, without intending to, look back at your team after a couple rounds and be like, oh, nobody has health anymore. And you can't switch into anything, and then that's kind of game.
This is kind of the problem I described before, right? Where they're whittling down their own stamina to get every single one of these big hits off. And it worked out in the first game, but now this time it looks like Cog is doing a much better job of making reads on who's getting targeted and like switching in beasties at the appropriate time. So now they've lived through a few turns, and it's starting to look like Reverie is potentially in trouble, honestly. I mean, it doesn't look like their team is that low in health, but the thing is that Ostracized, their main attacker, their stamina is so low. Yeah, they can't tag in unless their ally has a way to redirect attacks from them.
I think I see what they're doing.
Yeah, the thing is that
is it gonna pay off? Oh, I see.
Oh, never mind. This is actually really bad because now.
They're screwed.
Well,
because
hold on.
Charlie
is serving.
Charlie is serving, which is not going to be strong enough to take out this bird, especially with Watchtower.
Oh my gosh, okay. That was so clutch. So
the good old 50-50, not with Watchtower.
Yeah.
All right.
I could see, so yeah, the vision from the previous couple actions, right? They had the collider in the field that was noisy. The idea being that they would take the hit, get the extra action, and then be able to launch a massive offense in response. But yeah, because Collider is so frail, even at nearly full stamina, they couldn't take even one hit. They went down right away.
And it looks like they might. It looks like they might not be able to. Oh, they got shield. I forgot they have shield. Let's see if Cog forgot too.
And this is why I love running, instead of relaxed hit or whatever, I love running the reach shot on Charlie. Because this would just be an easy point right here, instead of colliding with a shield, which is likely what's about to happen. Yep.
And it looks like, is this it? Is this it?
Okay, yeah, so we're through the shield here, and then
now it's the question of... believers in chat.
So this Ostracized is going to come in with something big. It's strong enough to knock out most things in the opponent's team, but there are... Actually, I don't know if there's any outs here. We'll have to see. I think a block actually might...
No, they did not get it. That is a brutal showing from Reverie and the nervous folks. What are they nervous for?
Just after that, Ostracized wipes itself out from stamina, but of course, they've already won the game, so Congratulations to Reverie, and congratulations and thank you to both players. Again,
Wonderful,
a
wonderful
really,
showing. Thank you both.
really, really fun game. I'm very curious to see how Reverie
moves
does.
on to the next round.
Yes, yeah. Reverie runs the risk of playing too well with these janky beasties and making us have to nerf them.
I don't know. I love seeing the Ostraci representation because they're the only ones representing Ostraci in this whole tournament.
No, I agree. And no, I actually think the strategies are really, really interesting. I don't actually think they're overpowered. I'm just making a joke.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that Reverie is showcasing them here because it has definitely been a situation where I've seen a lot of players just be like, oh, we love Build It, we love Axolotl, but like Kitschik, I don't know.
Kitschik has been historically the least popular starter, and that has always been very sad to me as a known Kitschik fan and enjoyer. Several people in chat from the Discord are referencing the team I built to show off Ostraci that it seems Reverie has learned from because Big Bonko Spirit is well alive here.
Yeah. It's actually the Kitschik line is one that we've constantly had to tweak because it's been so good.
Yes. I remember when the overwork trait was 30% instead of 20%, and you can imagine how rough that was if that had to be nerfed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to take a look at the teams, or do we want to go in?
Let's see. Oh, have they started streaming? Oh, yes, they have. We might just
yes, we have Antercom and the Sneaky Spirits against Ket and the Lonesome Lovers. I'm so pleased that there was like no overlap in the team names this way around. Mm-hmm. If you have not played the Beastieball playtest, you can choose your own team name from a series of prefix and suffix. And you can also just go with a suffix, which is very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. For anyone who might just be joining us, so we're streaming here the very, very first Beastieball competitive tournament. This is an invitational for members of our Discord who've been playing playtests of the game a lot. This is a turn-based volleyball
Damien,
RPG.
You should update the score.
I'm working on it.
Okay, just checking. Sorry, but Greg, please continue.
Yeah, it's a turn-based volleyball RPG. It's still in development. It's coming out to early access later this year. And yeah, right now we're streaming the very, very first invitational tournament historically. We are already, I think, like almost halfway through the tournament. We've almost seen all of the quarterfinal matches here. And yeah, we're now starting. It looks like this fourth
looks like
game
we're finally seeing Platypulse, the notorious mind attack absorbing beastie who will draw in any mind attacks unless the other beastie is noisy.
Yeah, yes. Which historically we've gotten a lot of like people who have been very concerned about Platypulse, but the fact that it doesn't have a huge showing here.
Yeah.
Also the frame rate.
Let's see if we can see its potential.
The frame rate is unfortunately a little iffy.
Tragic.
We might...
Oh, and we are now getting our first peek at the beastie we have affectionately called the nefarious superorganism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sorry folks.
Our funny little flower in the back.
Yeah, unfortunately this is not exactly like
it's
reliant
real
on
bad.
Whoever's streaming.
and whoever's streaming, it looks like we might want to like adjust like see if the other player has a better streaming setup for the next match.
Yeah, we might have to put up with this for this match, but we'll make sure to let them know for the next match.
I have let them know.
Okay, cool.
Thankfully, I mean, I can still kind of tell what's going on here. Something interesting about this team that's being wielded by the player whose perspective we're watching with the Platypulse. They're running sweaty stall strategies. So you haven't seen anyone use that yet. Sweaty is a status effect. It's akin to poison in other games. So when a beastie is sweaty, they'll be losing stamina every turn. It looks like that stream just dropped.
We'll see if Ket and the Lonesome Lovers have any better luck streaming.
Well,
we might have to let them finish that game out if they're already in progress on it.
They're already streaming. Don't worry, folks.
Oh, okay.
We're back in it.
We got it.
Okay, great. Oh, and that looks a lot better too. So thank you, Ket.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ket.
Okay, we're back into the game.
So now we're streaming from the other player's perspective. But what I was getting at is that the opponent, the team on the right, they're wielding sweaty stall strategies. So they have ways to add stacks of sweatiness onto the team. So you can see right now, Ket's team actually already has 2 stacks and 3 stacks of sweaty on the 2 beasties, and that means that at the end of the turn they'll take 20 damage and 30 damage.
Which can be very frightening, very difficult to deal with over multiple levels, multiple turns.
Yeah. So if
We're also finally seeing Axolate's evolution, Hop Song, a very happy little dancer.
Yes.
Let's see if we can see their full potential.
Yeah, Hop Song is a very fun kind of balanced support and offense beastie. They use spirit attacks, so they're really good in rally situations, for example. In this case, it looks like Antercom is using kind of a balance team that has a mix of mind, spirit, and body offense, with the Hop Song kind of taking the place of the spirit attacker on the team. I haven't actually seen all their full sets, but I'm just kind of going off the way this team is built. It's a good mix of kind of support, defensive, tanky beasties. And that makes sense too because it looks like a lot of their strategy kind of revolves around surviving through multiple turns and layering on stacks of sweatiness to whittle down the opponent. So they want to be able to live through lots of attacks so that the opponent team can run out of HP. They've also.
However, it looks like they've been able to set up the rhythm field effect with the drum move, which means that they will not be able to be made sweaty by the opponent for a good while.
Yeah. So rhythm is the third and I think final field effect we're going to see in this bracket tournament. And yeah, it's temporary field effect. What it does is it protects your side of the field from negative statuses, negative feelings that is. So while you have rhythm, you can't get stacks of sweaty. You also can't be made nervous or angry or other types of debilitating.
Not angry. You're thinking.
You're right.
You're thinking of tender.
Yeah, bad feelings can't be given from their team. It also restores the stamina of both your beasties by 6 points every turn. So it's very good. It's a very good one for when you want to live through multiple turns. I think it's interesting that we actually have not seen this effect used at all up to now, and now both players actually have rhythm on their side of the field. So those music notes you see kind of coming out of the ground. Those have been set up on both sides.
Antercom either taking the point or misreading their movement.
Yeah, I think that was an interesting strategy. They were trying to defend the Alugus, I think. I think they were trying to live through that
Yes,
turn.
that's true. That was the correct play if that were the case, but let's see what they do next. Yes, that is a no-touch point when the ball hits the field. No one goes. We're seeing the boys. We are seeing the nefarious superorganism. Someone asked what makes it so nefarious. We may just find out.
I think I'm gonna tell people because how would you know?
Please do.
So that flower on the bottom right of the field, they have a trait called superorganism. It is one of the more bizarre traits in the game. What it does is that when that beastie is wiped out or reduces your stamina, they actually recover fully instantly. So whereas other beasties, usually when they're wiped out, they have to leave the field to recover. The superorganism, the boys, they recover instantly. And often, like in this case, it's not not a huge threat because if they lose the next point, they're just going to lose the match anyway. But one thing that beastie can do is lower its own stamina to reduce itself to 0 to then recover to 100. And there's a lot of moves that reduce your own stamina. We saw Reverie using some of them, or Blaze is another one, for example, that we've seen used in this tournament. So there's a lot of very wacko strategies that are available to that flower, but their stats aren't amazing. So if they're positioned very well, they can be a very effective tool for living out for long points. But if
we have High Spirits Hop Song coming in with a big hit, what's going to happen?
Yes. So we got a jazzed front row Hop Song boosted by their ally Beetleback, and looks like they're waiting to the last second deciding what move to use and where to target. Okay, and we've actually got a Tornado Ball coming in from them. So Tornado Ball is a spirit attack and has the side effect, which you just saw, where it forces the opponent to switch their beasties out. This is really great because they've also been putting down traps on the field. So they're forced. It's a classic strategy. They're building up sweaty stacks to passively reduce their health. They're putting on layers of traps and then forcing the opponent to tag out.
Yeah, I think Antercom's strategy is paying off. This might be difficult to deal with. Are they going to switch in anyone to deal more damage in place of reach shot?
And just to point out also, Ket is currently stuck in the same situation that we saw previously, where there's 2 support beasties on the field.
And they can't do a whole heck of a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah, one of the many advantages of Tornado
taking
Ball.
the opportunity to bring in Illugus.
Okay, and there we go. So the Charlie just lost the last bit of their stamina. Now they're not only wiped, but they're actually drained.
So which means they have to get off the field or they will drop the ball, and that means that they have a lot of openings to deal a free hit.
Yeah.
And the late trap, the late trap. That is going to be a big chunk of damage to Surgus.
This is terrifying, honestly. So yeah,
I think Antercom is making the comeback.
Totally, yeah. I mean, this is like really the classic arc you expect. They lost that first point, but they used that first point to set up a lot of layers of traps and Sweaty.
We are at a 50-50, however. Whoever, are they going to switch out the correct Beastie?
Yeah, this is very, very scary if you're playing as Antercom here. This could be a win-or-lose situation, because if they lose this point, they lose the game, but if they live through just 1 or 2 more turns here by making correct calls in these 50-50s, they should be able to claw this back because the opponent team has lost so much stamina. But yeah, we'll have to see. They have 10 seconds left to decide. It looks like they've tagged in the wrong one. So
that's
close.
That's the difference between the game continuing and the game ending. That is game 1 going to Ket.
Yeah, I mean, and it is a very, very tough high pressure call to have to make there. You can see like that they were thinking about that for a long, long time. And it is really a true 50-50 when the opponent has a chance to knock out either Beastie. You have to, and you only have one that you can tag out, so you just have to try to make the call.
Is keeping their current team. Oh, hang on a second.
There's a few mind games that play there.
They have to set the serve.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So it's not a pure, it's not like all things are equal because for example, the BC at the front row, they take boosted, they take more damage from attacks, and they also deal extra damage. So I think that Antercom probably correctly read what the rational choice would be. If you can knock out both Beasties, you may as well try to attack the one in the front row, because whatever tags in, if someone tags in its place and you don't win the point, then you know that the tag-in is at least going to take extra damage from being in the front row. And they'll also be in a worse position because they'll have the ball and they'll be in the front row, so they won't be able to attack straight away without passing moves. So I think Antercom was kind of correct to tag out the one they did, but, like, Sun Eater, who's Antercom's opponent? I had the wrong name up here.
We have Ket of the Lonesome Lovers.
Ket, thank you. So yeah, Ket kind of like correctly read into the read and then targeted sort of the less optimal Beastie, but that got them the knockout. Anyway, here we are going now into the second match between Antercom and Ket. We are leading off with a serve from Ket's Bro Slide in here. And it looks like these are the same two teams. Is that right? Or no, did Ket change teams?
No, Ket did not change teams.
Okay,
did they
cool,
change teams? Yeah. They aren't supposed to. No, they did not.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah, actually, yeah, another funny, so these are the first two players we've seen using Drum. They're also the first two players we've seen using Hop Song. So these are matchups that are, not a mirror match. There are some different Beasties here, but you're also seeing something very similar.
There's still some variety, but but you can see a lot of the overlap.
Yeah. So,
we're gonna see the boys getting off an attack.
Yeah. I love
Relentless is a very good move to pair with the super organism, because it makes the Beastie feel shook instead of wiped, and Relentless can still be used while shook, where you otherwise can't attack. So it's a very strong combination.
Yeah, it's
Slide and taking a risky hit into Hop Song.
Yes, yeah, that is a powerful swing coming in. So Antercom needs to make the read here. They need to save their Hop Song or they're going to go down. I do love their commitment to the bit here. They're still sticking with the same team, going with the layers of Trap and Sweaty. And this team in general, actually, you would expect that they would be stronger starting on defense, so they have in this game, because earlier in the game they're going to get some extra actions over the opponent. So that means that, for a team that's not trying to deal damage, but is actually trying to use a lot more support actions, that can be a big benefit. So they've already got a trap down in the field. They've already got an opponent who's feeling tired. So
and Hop Song is also in high spirits range, which is a plus 50% to all their attacks.
Oh my god, that was a great read. So that Bro Slide was going to go down if they didn't back off from the front row, which they did successfully. That Tornado Ball does mean they're forced off the field, so that's Ket's strongest offensive threat is now off the field, and that means that they are in a bad position here, and this is also a consequence of lack of undo here. So they've got a tired Surgus that can't attack, It looks like
So
they
they just gotta free ball it over.
Yeah, they're gonna have to free ball over. That gives Antercom a free turn here to set up even more layers of offense or trap or sweatiness. So I was expecting them to put in some more stuff to layer on some sweaty, but it looks like with the Beetleback and the Hop Song combination here, they are gonna go for a big offensive swing.
Yeah, I believe Antercom is correctly reading that with Drum on the field, the sweaty strategy will not be as effective, so while they might make use of trap, they are not going to rely on the sweaty damage.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So we've got a really big swing coming from the Hop Song, and that is so much damage. Yeah. So going from the front row boosted damage, getting a jazzed pass on the Beetleback boosted damage even further.
And Captain going to the front row.
Yes, yeah, with the Captain pass moving in the front row, that is a lot of damage output. You could see from Ket's view, right? They were looking at the damage calculations. From what they could see, it didn't seem like Hop Song was that big of a threat, but yeah, they nearly, I think they more than doubled
your attack power.
Yeah.
We're now seeing use of Rocket, which is a unique move that deals more damage to back row targets instead of the usual front row damage boost.
Yep. I really am enjoying Antercom's team here. It's very interesting because, yeah, depending on their lead...
Get to see Rally again.
Yeah, here we go. Here comes a Rally. Now, this is a risky strategy for Ket to use because... So their Surgus on the field, they benefit a lot from the Rally, but their opponent's Hop Song also benefits from the Rally, and they're super...
So if they don't get that frog off the field, they might be in trouble. They got that frog off the field.
Looks like they've chosen... I think that might have been a wise choice if they were planning to take that knockout, because, yeah, when a Beastie's at low stamina...
otherwise Hop Song is pretty much done for the rest of the game.
Yeah, so by letting them get the knockout, they've been able to put Hop Song in a position where they can now get them off the field, have them recover, and then potentially come back in later in the game for offense. I think that's a smart play by Antercom, especially because if Ket's running Rally, that means that Spirit attacks are going to be stronger on the field in general, and that means that makes that Hop Song more valuable to keep around, because they want to be able to threaten with it later in the game.
We have Illugus on the field. A Mind Attacker in Rally is usually not very strong, but I think it might actually have a chance to do something here. Let's see what they do in tandem with the Beetleback.
So this looks like, in general, it's going to be a turn of repositioning. We've got two Beasties on...
This is anyone's game, I think.
Yes, yeah, I mean, it's 1-1.
Strong start, strong going.
There we go.
That Surgus is not looking good.
Rally, that would have been a knockout, I think, but the Rally reduced...
Yes, that would be Rally. Yes, Surgus has the Performer trait, which gives them a defense boost in Rally. It's not big, but it's just enough.
Yeah, just between that and the reduced damage from Mind Attacks, that I think made a difference there. But you can also see, so the crowd of Beasties that are behind the field there, those three birds...
Slowly reducing turn by turn.
Slowly reducing, yeah. So if once I think Antercom makes it through this turn, that Rally's going to wear down. That means that Surgus is going to have suddenly lower defense and lower offense, and that's going to create a huge opening for Antercom to take advantage of here. I was pointing out that I just like how this team comp, depending on their lead. So Antercom previously led with a setup that was much more passive and stall based, but now you can also see they have a lot of really great offense as well. The Beetleback is a really good support beastie that's great at creating offensive situations.
Yes, we haven't even seen its full toolkit, I don't think.
Yeah, no. But yeah, in this match, like they're playing way more aggressively. It's not the same kind of hyper offense that we've seen from other players like Reverie in the bracket, but
I think it's a good adjustment given the field effects in play. Oh, and the strong numb shot from Illugus.
Nearly a one-shot wipeout. So I mean, congratulations to Ket for surviving through that move, but this is gonna be really, really tough for Ket going forward because now they've got 5 beasties that have damage on them. Four other 5 beasties have damage on them, which just means that they've got one slot
in the field. Antercom could lose this, but they're in pretty good shape.
They're in pretty good shape. Yeah, they've got a lot of beasties that now are back to near full health. They've got a lot of offense that they can put down. So if they keep this offensive up, yeah, I mean this could be even this, right? So they've got the Illugus on the field surviving one more turn, and yeah, with that stamina damage on the Hop Song, I mean, yeah, Ket that is running out of outs here, right? They've only got one beastie in the back that's got more than 50 stamina. That's probably their only choice right here, right? Is to tag that one in. But Antercom is just dishing out attack after attack, and with that Beetleback with the set.
Yeah, I don't think Ket was ready for this kind of offense. I think Antercom's gonna take it back.
Maybe. We'll see. That's another survival from the Charlie, so this is Ket's opportunity, I think. This is potentially Ket's last chance to try to put pressure on Antercom to force this offense to cease.
Unfortunately, they can't really do much because...
Oh my god, you're right. Yes, these are the two support beasties, so... Yeah,
this is a kind of dangerous situation if you don't position properly.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, yeah, Cat is just running out of outs, basically, right? All their beasties with offense, they're down to low stamina. This is what we described this a couple times, now you're kind of seeing it play out. By letting the opponent take a knockout, you can have a beastie on the back, recover and come back to full health, as Antercom did with their hop song. Cat has been playing much more like defensively and tanky. They're tanking hits, switching out beasties, trying to keep their points stable, which can be very good in the short term, but now you can see in the long term, they've got a lot of beasties in the back that have taken damage over the course of the game, and that means they just don't have options to switch in to take these last couple hits here.
Like, I can see a world where they manage to switch in Brosliden if Antercom makes the wrong move, but I don't think they're gonna.
Yeah, that looked like that was a checkmate situation, so congratulations to Antercom. That is a huge comeback win, and now we are 1-1.
Great comeback. You'll love to see it.
Yeah, now we're 1-1. That's awesome, and I love the adjustment for Antercom. They tried playing out the stall strategy, didn't work out. They went to offense, and it ended up working out really well for them. I do think that this could be anyone's game. Both teams we've seen now have a lot of options that are quite powerful.
Let's switch to there is a winner serve setting, but I don't think they've realized that. That is just fine. We can do it manually. I think one thing people have commented on is how much easier it is to do PvP and change the rules compared to similar games. Because you can set things you can make a lot of settings to play how you want.
So we're going into the third game here. It doesn't look like either player has switched their teams. Waiting for that to come in.
I don't think so. Yeah.
There
I love seeing these teams clash. I think this is really great.
Yeah, the matchup is very interesting.
People in chat are also talking about Other Wishes games. Please do play the Other Wishes Unlimited games. They're very good. They don't all have beasties, but they're good. All right, we're getting a serve from Platypulse here. That is a good idea. It only has the move Corner Shot, which is weak, but it automatically gives the target sweaty damage.
Right. So yeah, I think this is an interesting choice by Antercom. I'm curious to hear about the reasoning behind this because they were starting with the serve, meaning that they had the opportunity to kind of go more offensive, but they've gone back to kind of their defensive passive stall strategy.
We're going back into the rally with a big hit. I was not expecting it to do that much immediately.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? So when you're receiving the first thing, you get more support action. So I think Ket really smartly chose leading with their rally setup. They were able to set up a couple of stacks of rally and then attack all in the same turn here. That is a big offense and something that Antercom, I think, had they come in with a more offensive lead, they probably would be able to put a bit more pressure on to stop that from happening. But now we're seeing, oh my god, that is a lot of damage. That is 100 damage.
That is a heck of a lot of damage. However, this does mean that we're in the position where their only other serve is a free ball that could put them in a really bad spot.
Okay, yeah. Yes. So that's basically a free turn now for Antercom to respond with. It is too bad to see their Platypulse go down because that was probably one of their main tank options. They're going to have a few turns, they're not going to be able to rely on them.
Yeah, I think the choice here would be to go into Hop Song to take advantage of the rally before it runs out, because we've seen what Hop Song can do. Yep,
that makes a lot of sense. Now I'm not familiar with.
Let's not forget that Flowish has a lot of options to mess with the game.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen Flowish's setup. As far as I know, I think they have Sting, which is the move that makes the opponent tired. But I don't think they're a strong offense, and they don't have like big support actions for their ally.
No, they don't. They seem to be running more they support and interference setup.
Right, interference. So Hop Song. Previously, we saw Hop Song relying on the boost from Beetleback to get a lot of their offense potential. Now that was awesome.
We're seeing Brosliden come in. They're gonna have to be real careful.
Yeah, okay, so that Brosliden, and that is a lot of damage they can put down very quickly.
I think the boys gotta switch out.
Yeah, it's up to Antercom to try to intercept and
Antercom see it?
understand like how much shut they're under here. So Antercom can't see what Poseidon chose. They can see the damage
That is
counts
true,
before going to the
yes.
front row and the Jazz. So they're going to try to have... So they might not realize how much threat they're actually under right now. But hopefully they can foresee this and switch in the right Beastie here, because they are under a lot of threat from the offense net Poseidon.
Yeah, I think they'll see it. I just don't know what they'll do next. The best thing to do, I think, would be, like you said, get Beetle back in for additional support. Oh no!
Yeah, they didn't realize how much threat they were under, and that's going to be the game.
That is, they have lost to the seal. That was a very powerful. That was a powerful set. That is going to be with a cat running away with the game.
Wow. Yeah. That's
wonderful
tough.
showing. I'm glad we got to see some of the superorganism.
Yes. I really enjoyed that team, and the play is really interesting. The way that Antercom's team is set up is very like technically complex. They had a lot of different combinations and different modes they could play in. I think their downfall was just that they had to play like very, very carefully to make sure that they didn't like they just had a lot of vulnerabilities basically, and like setups that and like particular matchups that were tough for them. So really well played by Ket, because they were very consistent. They got the good reads, and they understood like how to get through Antercom's different strategies. So again, yeah, congratulations to both players, and thank you for the awesome game. So I think this bracket is a little bit out of date here.
Yeah, unfortunately, but
Can you hang on? Refresh the page. I just updated it.
oh, it should refresh automatically, but if not, I will get to that. Just give me a moment, folks.
Yeah,
There
we
we
were an
go.
hour and a half
Oh.
into this tournament, and I don't know. Time isn't real, I don't think.
Perfect. Okay.
So we're now moving into the semifinals, which is very, very exciting. So we have only 3 matches left here. So the first one is going to be between Pan and Scissors. These are the winners of the 2 quarterfinal games here. So Pan was running the rally team. I think it was Pan's rally team that had a huge showing. They lost their first match. They switched to the rally team and then had a huge comeback. Scissors is the player with the creative teams in featuring Silusk and other sort of like stranger offense species, including the Ostraci. So these are 2 of the more extreme.
Offensive
So
heavy teams.
Pan's rally team. Yeah.
I will say, depending on what Pan brings, the rally is very frightening for Ostraci, whose weakest defense type is Spirit.
Yes. That's right, yeah. So that's going to be really, really tough for Ostraci. And as far as I know, Ostraci also doesn't have any defensive options, right? They're all just attacks. So I mean, if they're running Ostraci, they better hope they get through this team as quickly as possible, which, I mean, that's the thing. They were kind of scared of each other. This entire team, their weakest defense is body defense. So their matchup with Ostraci is going to be very interesting and very aggressive.
That being said, I don't think we've seen Scissors B team, have we?
I don't think we have, yeah. Although we
take a look at that, Damien?
I'm working on it.
Yeah,
just give me
I think
a
Scissors
moment.
actually
There's
played
so many of these to go through.
Yeah. There we go.
Who's the one? Who was the one with Austria? Oh, that was Reverie, right? I'm very excited to see Reverie, but I don't think we saw Scissors B team either.
We saw Scissors play with their B team, but we haven't seen them actually use their A team. Yeah,
What's
but
their
we
A
looked at
team,
the
then?
A team. We looked at both of them. Both teams. I mean, the strategy is very, very similar. I would
Right.
say Scissors B team is featuring a lot more kind of like risky offense with the grit.
Right. Okay, yes, we saw this one. I don't think we got to see Plumask in action, which is the main difference
between these 2 teams. Yeah, the Plumask and the Squimmage, and the Turtoneer there too. Honestly, the Turtoneer is really interesting to me on the A team. I'm really curious to see whether Scissors makes use of it and how they make use of it. That looks like to be a beastie that is set up to be more of a support. They've got a lot of good tagging out potential, so yeah, and they're using Mighty Yell, which is a move that makes them noisy and forces attack to target into them. So they may be, yeah, it looks like they're kind of going for more of a defensive strategy with this team here, like having beasties that can tag out frequently to tank lots of hits. Whereas the other team, the one they won with the B team, has more of the like kind of more riskier offensive beasties.
Yeah, I think one thing I think people are noticing is that people aren't really losing because of team composition. They are losing because the opponent makes good choices and they don't get all their reads correct. I like the fact that Beastieball is the only luck factor is what your opponent chooses.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's no randomness in how much damage things do or anything like that. So
yeah, there's no flinch chance, no random effect. everything is... Once you press go, it's guaranteed to happen. It only matters what the opponent does in response.
Right.
Alright, it looks like the players are ready to go. Alright, we're going with the giant bugs and the galaxy ghosts. I am very interested in seeing how it shakes out.
Cool. Yes, me too. So we're watching from Scissor's perspective here, and they're going against Pan. So it looks like Pan is coming out strong with the Rally team, and Scissors is coming out strong with their B team. So these are the two teams that we saw win in the quarterfinals. Now matching up against each other. This is very exciting.
Rally will actually be very, very good here.
Rally is going to be very interesting, yeah, because the Psylusk is the strongest offensive option on Scissors' team, but their attacks are weaker in Rally. So, depending on how this game shakes out, you may see Psylusk do very well or very not well. Starting on defense is a huge plus for Scissors, though. That means that it doesn't give Pan a chance to set up Rally before Psylusk gets its first attack off. So
that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
It looks like it's not bothering with locked target, which makes sense. Oh, getting him out with a Cyclone right away.
Okay, yeah, so they've...
Yeah, that's put them in a scary position if they choose to rally. They don't have rally available at this precise moment, but for those unfamiliar, Plumask has a move called Grit, which is extra effective if you are feeling sweaty or nervous, and their move Hunker there makes you nervous.
Yeah. So they've got a really devastating combo available to them where they can make themselves nervous, boosting their defenses, and then attack with Grit with boosted offense. Very common Plumask strategy, and they've got the Malpede on the field here. The Malpede redirects attacks away from them, so it's going to give them more chances to swing with these hits. Now, this isn't that much damage because...
these are very spirit defensive beasties.
Very spirit defensive,
Oh, bringing in the dog, bringing in the dog. Are we going to go for the counter with the dog? Keeping in mind... We know this Demolipede has shield, and that is the obvious answer to give them here. What are they going to do after that?
Yeah, so I actually already don't remember what the Zephyr is running, but I think that Zephyr is running Cut Shot. That could be a very, very scary option here. That means that so they could attack the front row, and that would totally circumvent Demolipede's like ally defense options.
Mm-hmm. And if they had moved Plumask to the front row, it could tank Cut Shot, but it's not able to take out the dog. Its name is Fetch Him. It is the dog. Big hit. Still a big hit.
Okay, so yeah, we got the block, which has helped the dog to save some stamina that they might not have realized that they would have survived without stamina even without the block. This puts them in a bit of a weird situation now because Plumask's trait is Stirring, and what that does is that when they're given a feeling, they reflect it back onto whoever gave it to them. So by blocking Plumask, the dog also blocked itself, which meant that their offensive response wasn't as strong as it could have been. Now we're in a situation that
we're going right back into Hunger Grit, but we know the dog has shield too. This is very frightening.
Yeah, these are two shields kind of bashing into each other. The offenses are getting higher and higher here.
Apologies for the frame drops, folks. Unsure exactly why that's happening, but...
I can still follow, okay.
Yeah. Everything's just kind of, it looks like it's coated in oil a little.
Just a little greasy.
Just a little greasy.
Ooh, taking the hit. Oh, that was a very heavy.
Damage. That was a huge amount of damage. 166 on the Demolipede. Now, I would say that it was probably good for Scissors.
Yes, it was good to switch in the Demolipede there.
Yeah, probably good that the Demolipede took it because the Demolipede didn't have that much stamina to lose. Had they tried to tag in something that had a lot of stamina, they could have lost an entire life bar, right? Just like that.
Well, Pryn can no longer take a shielded hit. Let's see what they do next.
Yep, they tried to go for it anyway. Probably didn't realize that was going to happen. Maybe potentially even a mistake.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Yep, and now...
And it looks like they're going to get the double point, unless they predict it. Well, no, actually, they have to switch out the dog, so I think this is it. They have to switch out the dog so Watchtower doesn't activate.
Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, so that's going to be a win.
I don't think even Dig 'em will help here, because Friendship is only a 25% damage reduction.
Yep.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Tragic. That is a very close set. Game 1 going to Pan.
To Scissors.
Sorry. Scissors.
Yeah.
I'm looking at... It's in a different order on the challenge website.
Yeah. So there's some mechanics that are new in this playtest, not from other playtests, and Pan might not have totally adjusted their gameplay based on that. So Shield, as you mentioned before, it's a status effect that reduces damage.
And is changing their team.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, so Shield reduces the damage that Beastie takes. However, they always take at least 1 damage from attacks, even if they have a shield up. So when that dog fell down to 1 stamina left, the shield didn't do anything. They were guaranteed to take that 1 damage no matter what. So Pan's only choice in that moment was to tag the dog out to help them live through another turn. But because they tried to shield it, it wasn't effective. The dog ended up losing and getting wiped out, and then they were put.
That game could have gone on a lot longer if not for that move.
Yeah, it could have. Yeah.
Yeah, Shield is some of our known players are remembering when Shield was a complete damage reduction to absolute 0 until it was changed to the current version. I think this version is much better. We're seeing a switch in the lineup. We're seeing Nico and Goggles again.
Pan's A team, right? So we've got a pump up bro slide in, and that is actually a pump up bro slide with a demanding.
That is bad for Scissors.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. That is. I cannot believe they survived that. That is so much damage.
I'm astounded.
Incredible, really incredible. Now, so Pan really put everything into that swing. That was a lot of damage they put out. It's unfortunate they couldn't get the wipe out there. So this means that they've got 2 stressed beasties on the field, and now a tired beastie with first slide in. So,
however, Rosliden doesn't can be tired and still attack.
Oh, you're right. You're so right. I didn't even think of that. Right,
Miracle play is one of those things you have to account for. There's a handful of things you absolutely have to account for. And
that was 103 damage with a free ball, and it deleted the game from reality for a second.
That's so crazy. My god. Right.
For those unfamiliar, the game does black out when you are tapped out. That's just how it is.
We should explain that. So every beastie has a move called free ball. It's kind of like the default attack if you have nothing else to do. It's like struggle in Pokemon or something. Like it's a move you basically never want to use, but you always have it available. Rosliden, their trait is Miracle Play, which means that their free ball, unlike every other beastie, is actually an attack. It's not a great attack, but it's an attack.
But it's an attack, and sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah. So, whereas, like, in general, when a beastie is, for example, like, tired or wiped out, the only thing they can do is free ball, which is usually seen as a negative, but in Brosliden's case, when they free ball, it's actually an offensive move, and so Pan took full advantage of that.
In earlier game, we saw the strategy where you put Cherylee next to him and just cheer twice, and suddenly that's a very strong free ball.
Yep. So...
Okay, dog has come in. What will the dog do?
What's the dog doing?
What is the dog doing?
That dog is swinging, and it looks like
Dig'em coming right back in. It's already ready.
Yep. This game is flying. These players are playing so quickly.
Yeah.
And
Scissors is
also. It looks
also,
like nothing can take this hit. So let's see how they respond.
Yeah, Scissors is flying through the animations too, so that's why it's going so fast. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, I love that. It's really interesting to see the difference in pace. Like, I feel like both these players are such like high energy players that are playing it so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Very fun to watch. Very fun match.
Oh, the dog is so tanky.
A lot of offense coming from both sides here. Yeah, every turn I feel like we're seeing some huge buildups and swings.
I feel like Goggles is about to set up a huge hit for Cream here. The dog about to do a ton of damage.
Yeah, that is going to be very, very scary.
Demanding set, here it is.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That was a great read by...
and now we're at a 50-50. Now we're at a big 50-50 here.
Yes, yeah. So Scissors could win the game outright if they target correctly. Either way, Sam has been putting so much risk into their attacks here. So even if they make it through this turn, they're going to have a tired beastie on the field, and that's going to make it tough for them to mount any decent offense during this next turn. So correct play right there. So they're still in the match. And yeah, this is I didn't really. So we're 1-on-1 games, 1-on-1 points. The next point is going to win the set. This is a huge high pressure moment here for both players. We're in a situation where Scissors right now, I would say, has the slight advantage. They've got 2 beasties on the field. They have a decent amount of stand on their side, and they're not like super tired or statused out. Pan, on the other hand, like they're stuck in a couple ways here. They've got a tired Fetch'em on the field. That's also
Right, they
going to
can't even shield.
Yeah. In fact, this might be a checkmate now. Yeah, this looks like a checkmate.
It looks like a check. If they attack Illugus, it's a checkmate. Unless, yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, rough. That was a great battle.
A great match. Yeah, I really enjoyed that too. Yeah, the way that Pan just hard commits to some of the most like wild offensive strategies, very impressive. Like very high risk play. I love to see it. And equally impressed to see the way that Scissors was able to just barely survive through some of those strongest attacks that are in the game, and then clutch out a win after, like surviving through some of those. Very, very fun, very, very impressive play from both players. Thank you very much.
All right, I believe that goes to Scissors then.
Yeah,
yes.
that's Scissors win. Yeah, 2-1.
Hang on, let me update this.
Yeah, very, very, very impressive play. Very, very fun. These have been awesome matches. I really do enjoy, too, how different every team has been so far. To be honest, when we were setting up this tournament, I was a little bit worried that we were going to see, like, every team be, like, a rally team, or every team be, like, a bro slide-in offense team. We've seen, instead, a mix of a lot of different beasties using offense. Obviously, a lot of Charlie and some repeats, but lots of different types of team comps, too. Yeah, very, very fun to watch.
Just gonna put up.
Our next matchup is getting set up. Do we want to take a look at what the nervous folks and lonesome lovers have for us?
Yeah. So here's Reverie's A team.
Okay, cool.
With the
That's
right.
yes.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see Ostraci. My personal wish is that the Ostraci runs away with the game.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. So Reverie, their strategies are similar-ish to Pan's in that they've got a lot of very hyper offense, very high risk strategies here. Beasties that are gonna like commit really hard to attacks and hope to win in just 1 or 2 hits to get through the match.
I would like to gently correct chat. This is not Big Bonko. This is Angsty Jeans. Please respect his name. And Ostraci is scary. I forgot that you have both Surgus, which is pretty defensive and rally even without the performer trait, and we also have our beloved frightening little Kaleidarn that will also take spirit hits well and hit back very hard.
It looks like we've actually got the match starting, so...
Right, we got the match starting, so let's take another look.
Okay, alright, so here we go. This is, I think we're looking from Ket's perspective, versus...
Yeah, working on it.
Yeah. Oh, I can see it.
Looking good.
Ket.
Yeah, Ket versus Reverie here. So Ket on the left side here, that's the perspective that we're seeing on the stream here. Running with Poseidon and Charlie.
Yes, people are noticing this theme is versus the Golden Gods. It is very good.
Okay, Ostraci, their defenses are not great, but if they have any defense that's worth talking about, it's their body defense. With that, they've just barely made it through that attack, and this is a scary
Now they can fire back, and even though they're going to get knocked out by this due to overwork, I'm honestly not sure that's going to be a big drawback for them. I don't think
well, it is in that they're going to get this point, but they're also going to wipe themselves out here on the serve. So they got the point, but that also means it's a guaranteed free ball going into Reverie's or Ket's team right now.
At the very least, it's an 11 damage free ball.
That is true. Charlie's plus 10 damage trait does in fact apply to free ball. So you can get so if someone is on very low stamina, you can get that going. Are we gonna do a reach shot on the tag in? Oh,
you had to do it.
Very nice play.
Like
that's to do it.
Yeah, that's the best way to use sideways moves is force the opponent to switch, and they can't get into position to receive.
Yep.
All right, now we're 1-1. Let's see what happens next.
So previously we saw that Reverie, huge offensive attacks. They gave up at that point. They basically like traded that point, right? they go on that first point with a huge offense, but in exchange they made themselves extremely vulnerable, and that second point was almost a gimme. Now we want to see if Cat wants to win this game. They are going to have to actually out offense their opponent Reverie. They're going to have to try to find a way to claw a point out before Reverie mounts another significant offense and wins the point outright. This is a very interesting situation here. So they've already shown they have the reach shot. And yeah, there you go. Okay, very interesting. They move the Collide Arm to the front row. That means they get the extra action, but they're shook, so they can't actually swing on this turn. And that's their main offensive potential here. So I don't actually know if they have... Oh, there's a team chant! A team chant on the
team chant! I never ever expect team chant. It is so good.
And it was unnecessary.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes, so Team Chant is, in case you might have guessed, it will remove almost every feeling, bad or good, from the other beastie, from all your team beasties. That was a very good use of it to get the shook off, and it was only possible because of Collide Arm's Nimble, which gives you an extra action. That really wonderful play from Reverie. I am a big fan.
Yeah. Wow. Very, very. I mean, you can see just how scary that offensive potential is on some of Reverie's beasties there. Definitely carrying the torch, that pan lit of hyper offense and janky strategies here. I am a big fan. It's a terrifying team, I imagine, to have to go up against. So
Cat
we are
going to their B team.
Seeing Cat switch to his B team. Yeah.
I'm not over that team chant. I completely forgot Cherylee had it. That was a fantastic play.
An amazing response to that too. Because reach shot. When I saw the reach shot come out, I was sure that it was going to be a huge opportunity.
It was going to be a nothing turn, but little did we know.
Yeah. So okay, now we've got Cat leading again with the serve here. And again, like their serve options are honestly very strong.
Finally seeing their Dillo. I don't know if they'll get on the field. First, our good old friend, the very frightening dog.
Okay,
demanding
all
set, going
in on the offense.
Going right in with the demanding set.
2 damage onto the ostracized.
It's already dead.
Incredible, honestly incredible.
Oh, they're saving
even
the
with the
bird
walk
with
power,
the
even the redirection. Yeah, that is a huge damage attack. Now, Reverie's going to pay a steep price for running that. They are now both stressed, and that means that they're both going to be tired after the serve here. So that is a nothing burger return that's coming in here now. They don't have any way to the opposing Cherylee has a way to hit the front row. Is that right? Actually, I don't know. I think the MP has a way to hit the front row, right?
Hang on, is Reverie on the left or right?
Reverie's on the right.
Or on the right, sorry.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've got Cat with a 2-star beastie.
Bird is hitting hard.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
The points are just flying in this one.
This is, these are
1-1. Once again, we're seeing Daredillo come in.
How much damage?
You just
41.
have to wait with bated breath. Whatever. Now, we haven't seen Daredillo in action. They can be a strong body or spirit attacker. They mostly have spirit moves at this moment in the playtest. Oh, dive. If they had managed to get that in on the last turn, that would have done double damage for just tagging in.
Still a good amount of damage. And I think here that this is more of a... They're probably... with all this offense coming in, they seem like they are playing a bit more defensive. They're setting up a bunch of rhythm stacks. That's going to protect them by keeping their stamina a bit higher. Probably something they need because their stamina
generally good for keeping up a defense.
Yeah. It might be tough, though, because Reverie's coming with such strong attacks that are doing, 100+ damage.
It might not matter, yeah.
It might not matter, yeah. We'll have to see. So here comes a set thump. I don't know if it has anything that can survive this. In fact, oh my god!
Ooh, Cherylee, and that's because of the drum they were able to survive.
Yep. The drum made the difference. That's really, honestly, incredible. Their
Daredillo is back up for the plate.
Yep. Okay, so the Demolipede recovered in the back. Now they're back on the field. They've got a sweaty status, though, so their stamina now is going to be depleting. And they've got a Sidewinder.
I don't know if Ket can do much of anything.
The Sidewinder here could be really cheeky.
Yes, Sidewinder is a sideways move that this fun little bug gets, and it is weak but mighty when it counts.
But Het gets the
dog
read
gets it.
correctly.
Dog gets hit.
A huge read, honestly. The Sidewinder could have won the game, but Het correctly reading that Reverie was going to go for a boosting offense instead. So they switch in the dog. They've got another turn bot, and that is a massive amount of damage to dog and output. We've already seen how much damage they can do. So again, the Molipede correctly getting the read with a shield, but even that 12 damage could be, you know, if Cat makes it through a couple more turns here, could be a big difference here. And oh my god, a huge read again!
That's the biggest read of this tournament.
That is so huge. Yes,
we
so
are
right there,
getting
the
some
offense
crazy
could have
reads.
gone, right? Last turn they showed they went for the big offense when they could have gotten the free point. So Cat correctly calling out that this time they were not going to go for the big offense and instead try to get the cheeky sideways move in the front row. It's just
we're seeing quick tag that allows. We're seeing quick tag. We're seeing quick tag. That is interesting.
Yeah, quick tag moving in the Zephyr, and that is a big play here. So the Zephyr, yeah, does a lot of damage.
God.
That's the game. That
Wow.
is huge. Wow, amazing play to Ket. I mean, like it. There were I think 2 or 3 situations there where they could have lost the game outright, and they just barely clutched it out with amazing reads. Very
and
impressive.
Just the semifinals, by the way.
Yeah, very impressive stuff. Is it 1-1?
It's 1-1.
1-1.
1-1.
Oh my god, I can't even handle this. This is crazy. Okay, the 1-1. These players have been playing out of their mind. If I'm being honest, I am really impressed because Reverie strategies are just so scary, so aggressive.
Yes.
Yeah, had to play out of their mind to call their way out of that match.
People are starting to notice. A lot of people went for Watchtower because of its defensive potential. I don't know if they fully comprehended the sort of trade-off that makes, because if your Watchtower Beastie is down, you cannot protect the other one. Ooh, interesting start. They're getting Zephyr up first to get Air Blast. That's a front row only move, but will it be worth it if they can survive whatever the bird throws at them?
Yeah, I wonder if they actually remembered that their Zephyr only has front row attacking moves, because serving with a straight ball
even
this
worse,
is
Glidarn.
really bad. Oh, the
good,
Maverick
good.
actually cancels out the trait, so that's good news at least. So Zephyr is using the trait Maverick, and that cancels out the trait of Beasties they attack with. So whereas Collider would have gotten an extra action typically from receiving that move, they don't get the extra action because of Zephyr's trait. However, this still could be okay.
They're just kind of
back and forth.
Just
Very
passing the ball.
Very unusual from both players. It looks like we have seen 2 just kind of set up situations here where they are just positioning, trying to work out what the other player's trying to do and get ready for a big offense. So here comes the first big swing from Ket's team here. The counter from the dog.
I'm very scared about the counter. Now they run into Molipede. I'm curious what the purpose for that is. I guess it does protect Collidarn, but are they going to make use of the sideways attack as well?
Yeah, they could do anything here. So you can see actually that Ket's choosing to back their dog off. Had they gone for the sidebar in the front row, that would have been a point right there. But instead, you're going to see Collidarn going for a huge hit. Oh,
they got it.
Brilliant play from Ket.
That was a good Watchtower there.
Yeah, that was the reason for the backup there. That made it so that the BCs were adjacent again, and then the dog was able to take the attack in place of the Handicoot.
Another risky, demanding set.
Yes. Now, oh my god.
Nothing can tag in on this. What are they gonna do?
Oh
my god.
Interesting, but not.
I love that play. I wish that it had worked, but the damage output was just too high. It was totally the right call.
Yeah, doubling up is heavily risky.
And now it's kind of a checkmate right now, right?
Yeah, I think this does appear to be a checkmate.
Oh, no, it's a 50-50 if the Collidarn tags. Oh, no, you're right. You're so right. You're right. Dang.
Ooh.
My god, that was a fantastic struggle.
Yes, yeah, so yeah, I see people asking in chat. Yeah, so Watchtower, as long as the BCs are adjacent in any direction, the Watchtower can steal the attack. Which is just made that such a brilliant play from Reverie, because yeah, typically you're going to have them side by side. That's the safe way to have them lined up so that you have Watchtower stealing moves. But you can also use it to, have the front row Beastie not take an attack and have it go to the back row instead. again, brilliant play that unfortunately did not work out because the offense from Ket was just too strong.
I believe that will be leading us into a final match between the Scissors and the Giant Bugs and Ket and the Lonesome Lovers. That is absolutely bonkers.
And if I could make a quick request, that Scissors streams this one, just because they seem to have the most stable stream of the group.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. So yeah, here we're back on the bracket here. Yeah, it's going to be Scissors versus Ket. Now, we have seen these two teams. It's very interesting to me because I expected that, well, I was worried, as the designer, that the teams that were using some of the more like crazy strategies, right? Some of the more like weird, janky things, that they were going to get really far. But these two teams actually aren't really in that category. We've got two teams that are very creatively built, using a diverse cast of beasties that aren't necessarily doing like crazy risky setups on every turn, but instead have a couple different modes. So there's a lot of different ways this matchup can play out. Both players, I think we've seen both their teams now, and they're all quite different. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that this matchup could go, which is very, very interesting, depending on what teams they decide to lead up with, and yeah, how they match up into each other. I can see that both players are readying up already, so this is our finals match. It's going to be Ket versus Scissors.
And oh yes, I have to.
I would also like to call out one of the mechanics in Beastieball is that you can save a version of your team and upload it with a team code so people can use it. And I'm told that Ket's team there was designed by user Cham in the pardon me. Chamata Flanders with the Galaxy Idols team. So there's all sorts of support going on.
Okay, that's so cool. That's so cool to see that players are actually using each other's teams here, here all the way up into the final match. So we're beginning the first match here, and I should mention this is going to be a best of 5 for the finals game here. So we've got the Silas, as previously mentioned. They're using lock target here to make sure their attack goes into not the Bro Slide-In, but the Cheerilee.
And if Cheerilee can get off a reach shot, they're going to be in some trouble. Ooh, even worse.
Sending it into the Cheerilee is risky because Cheerilee usually has really good passing moves.
Set up, yeah.
But yeah, we've got the shield here, so that's gonna keep Ket going, or sorry, Scissors going for at least one more turn here. Now this is a very good situation for Scissors. They can lock target here. They can guarantee that their move is gonna go into that Cheerilee. The Cheerilee now has to tag out if they want to survive. There you go. Yeah, so because the Cheerilee tagged out, instead the move goes into the Bro Slide-In. Now this is a very scary situation. They have not a lot of different ways to survive the offense coming from the Bro Slide-In, but without the Cheerilee on the field, that also means there's no way for them to target the front row. Oof.
Ooh.
That was the necessary sacrifice, I think.
Yeah, probably was, yeah. So giving up the point right there, letting the ball go down to 0 stamina. That's going to be good potentially in the long term. It means that Scissors has a beastie in the back that will recover and eventually be able to come back onto the field. And we've seen how valuable Watchtower has been in this bracket, so you definitely want to be able to have a Watchtower beastie in the back that can come back in and take hits later on. Now we're seeing a Bro Slide-In versus Bro Slide-In moment here.
With Diggums.
Seal versus Seal, the unstoppable Seals.
With their best friends by their sides.
It's an evil twin situation. Which is which, you decide. Rhythm. People are noticing Rhythm does the tempo of the rhythm field effect drums does change with the music. They do sync that up.
Yeah. So Diggum's got a trait called Friendship. What that means is that their ally takes 25% less damage while Diggum is on the field. Very useful for these situations where you have a BC like Bro Slide-In who wants to sit on the field, build up boost, and do big offense. It means that, generally speaking, you're going to be doing less damage to the Bro Slide-In, and opponents are going to want to target the Diggum. You see actually two different targeting strategies here. So Scissors has been trying to wear down the Bro Slide-In as the main offense on the opponent team, whereas Ket has been targeting down the Diggum, trying to force that supporter off the field.
We have not seen much of Hawkeye, but it is very good in the right situation. That was the right situation. It saved Bro Slide-In.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just just
Stupid
barely
question. Didn't we
surviving
want
that.
this to be a 3 point? These to be 3 points?
No, it's first to three, or first to three
Oh,
wins.
right. First to 3.
Yeah.
So many numbers to worry about.
It's easy to mix them up.
So, okay,
So Roll Sliding could
another
just
big
free
bro
ball,
slide
or
and
they could
steam
have
coming
the
in.
bug do something. Ooh. And yes, for those just tuning in, the game does just sort of go black. That's due to how it's rendered when you tab out. It's no trouble. I promise the universe is alive.
I do like.
Wow, two Hawkeyes saving Real Sliding. One stamina.
Yeah, this is very, I don't know, we haven't seen this side of Ket's team before, this amazing ability to tank body attacks. The bro
Yeah,
slide
I had not realized it either.
Yeah, the other thing with the bro slide, I mean,
into that. Oh my goodness. This might be it for Bro Sliding unless they do something crazy.
yeah, I would be very surprised to see, yeah, okay, finally a lineup change, but at what cost? It looks like now Scissors is in a very tough position. They ground through so many turns to make that happen.
Yes,
But
oh my goodness. In comes Hop Song with... interestingly, it did, The damage reduction from Friendship did take it out of High Spirits range. So if damage was a consideration here, which it's looking like it won't be, it would have been suboptimal. But that's it's interesting to think of all these interactions with it. Ooh, yep, people are really learning about Watchtower today.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what though, the Watchtower wasn't really a factor there. It
was a factor in the checkmate. Well, I mean, and that like they didn't have any way to get out, right? Because the Watchtower trait means that White BC was gonna absorb the attack no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So they had no choice but to tag the Demolipede out, and that meant that they were guaranteed to lose that point basically as long as the opponent targeted correctly.
Moving on to game 2.
Yeah, Watchtower, generally speaking, a very, very strong trait that can put you into some very advantageous situations, but once you're going down like that with a White Beastie, Watchtower suddenly becomes a huge detriment.
And Scissors actually swapped out of using Watchtower, and that's basically the difference between these two teams.
Yes. Oh, we are seeing their other team. Let's see will we see the power of the squid? Squimage is one of the more frightening beasties once you really get into the depths of what Beastieball is capable of. I think that it is going to be a considerable threat in the final game, and I want it to be a considerable threat here. Yeah, I don't think we've seen Scissors play this team yet. They've only used a Demolipede redirection team so far, so we're finally going to get a little screen time for Tertineer, the one BC that I did design work on.
Oh, that's such a great use of that ability.
Wow.
So Tertineer has the flee trait. What that means is that when they fall below 50 stamina, they'll tag out instantly. It's very, very fun use because they...
That was a fantastic read.
Very, very fantastic. So they have the Tertineer come in, take a hit that did a lot of damage, but then it forced them out instantly. So it meant that Scissors was able to keep their offense up with a pivot all in the same turn. Very effective use of the flee trait. I think that
does mean Tertineer isn't going to be able to do much for the rest of the game, but it might not have to. Let's see how Ket plays this.
They've gotten everything they need out of that Tertineer. They're just going to chill in the back now and wait for the game to end.
Enough.
Ooh!
They tried blocking it, but it was either they miscalced or
not nearly enough.
Yeah.
But however, I see an opportunity to get the squid in. Yep, they're taking it. They're taking it.
Unfortunately,
muscle memory is very strong.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the squid can't do much right now. It needs to survive the turn.
I'm surprised they don't have this on the Watchtower team, because this guy can make much better use of Watchtower.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah. I mean, they have other redirection options, right? So the Tertineer is there for noisy redirection. And then the Dig'em also is very helpful, often in like healing and keeping defenses up on the ally. They've got Dramatic Exit on the Squimmage, so it looks like they might be considering using that right now to try to switch out.
Unfortunately, they can't really exit into anything safely.
Yeah, that Bro Slide is just very, very, very scary. I love the read with the Dig'em, so they get the block on the Bro Slide in there, just barely survived it with 10 HP, 10 stamina, and now they've got an opportunity here to answer back with the Squimmage.
And unfortunately, they can't actually attack with the scrimmage still because it hasn't gotten any boosts.
Well, they can, but yeah, it might not be the best option here. Yeah, so it looks like they're gonna volley back to the Digum. It's gonna be a bring the heat here. Yeah, I mean, Scissors is in a very tricky situation here where they
if they can get the seal off, if they can get Bursliden off the field, this might be it. But if they block, it's kind of it. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh no, they didn't even block. They doubled up, so Charlie gave them the defense bonus. Oh my god.
Oh, and Bursliden attacking from the void.
Wiping out the scrimmage, huge hit.
Oh, so that's 2 for Ket now. All right.
Oh my god.
We should let Scissors know they can take a breather for a sec. Think about their strategy.
Yeah. Let's give them a break here.
That is quite intense. This is looking very rough for Scissors.
Who was looking dominant right up until now, basically. Scissors blasted through the bracket, but coming up against Ket, it's so funny because their strategies are pretty similar at the core of it. It's hit hard with the big seal, or I guess sea lion, but Ket's just team seems to be able to handle everything that Scissors is throwing. All right, and best of luck here. And they know it's first to 3, right?
First to 3, yeah.
Okay.
So this is potentially could be tournament finals here. We have Ket who's up two matches to 1 or to 0. That is. So Scissors is going to. Yeah, so they're switching back to their first team. I think that makes sense because this team did perform better in the first match here. So this is going to be Scissors' potentially last stand tournament game here.
This is a much better starting setup than before because now they have Hunker and Grit.
And
yes, yeah.
Note that the Demolipede and the Plumask both have shield, which means they can if they play smart, they can tank for a lot longer.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what they'll do.
Has, Bursliden is a very, very strong option. I don't think we saw anyone else using Pump Up on them, notably. But yeah, like you can see just how very strong that is.
Does it have reach shot? Oh!
Yeah, I had a feeling we would be seeing that.
Tough.
Ket's team is just so well prepared.
Ket is very strong. We are seeing the power of Bursliden.
Not only Bursliden, just Charlie and just in general.
Yeah, that being said, it looks like Bursliden won't be able to take what's coming in. So let's see what Ket does next.
Yeah, one of the issues that Scissors ran into in the last game is they were really relying on their body offense the last couple of games, which is not very effective on Bursliden. But the spirit attacks are going to force Bursliden to tag out. Now we are looking at a totally different game.
Now we are at a big 50-50. If Surges attacks at all, even with a free ball, the Demolipede is out. Or if they reach shot, they will.
Yeah, this is actually a true 50-50. The reach shot is such a danger here, and they predicted it. That is awesome.
Ooh, that is so cool. So cool. Scissors pulling out of that situation.
That is the stuff.
Could have been the end of the tournament. They got the call out. They get one more huge hit, another Hunker, another volley, another Grit. Lots of damage usually, although it looks like actually, my god. Ket's team building very good.
Yeah,
so the rest of this team is
and even less because of Dig'em. Let's see.
Yeah. The spirit defense on the rest of this team is actually pretty high. So the Bursliden has the weakness against it, but it looks like Scissors are going to have to change up their offense if they want to keep doing effective damage to the rest of Ket's team here.
Oh, and then Hunker, and then a set from Dig'em. This might at least punch a little bit better.
Yeah, they're starting to punch holes in their defenses. Even with Dig'em, this is going to hit harder and harder, and if they don't set up fast, they are going to struggle.
Okay, so we got the Hawkeye coming out from Dig'em. We haven't actually talked about what Hawkeye does here. It's similar to the move block, but you can use it anywhere in the field. The cost is that it does take 10 stamina away from the person who does it. So you can see Ket's having their Dig'em Hawkeye from the back row. If it was that Scissors had any front row attacks, that would be, like we've seen, a way to win the point instantly and get around that block. But they don't. They're going for straightforward offense here, and that means that Hawkeye is very effective from the back row at mitigating damage, even from strong attacks like this.
And because they had drum up, it takes away. It almost immediately heals them back up.
Yeah.
Oh, in comes Hoppy.
So we got the hop song coming in.
And they're coming in, and it looks like Surges is primed to set up rally. What are they going to do?
No rally set up here.
Oh, no rally! I'm surprised.
Well,
that might have been enough for the Dig'em if they'd stayed in. But now we are at the very frightening body offense. If they switch into Dig'em or Charily, Hopsong will be in a very good position.
This is a lot of damage coming in from the Brosliden, and worth pointing out too that Ket's main offensive threat for the last 2 games, their Brosliden, is off the field and with low stamina, so even if they want to bring them back in, it's going to be very, very tough to tag them in. This is potentially a huge opportunity for Scissors. They've got a lot of damage potential on the field here now, and yeah, Ket's responses are dwindling quickly. So
yeah,
even their Dig'em, their tankiest Beastie, is almost down to half health here.
I don't know if they're going to, because Plumask has good defense, but that's not what needs it right now. Are they taking a chance?
Oh my god!
Absolutely brutal showing. 3 to none from Cat. Scissors put up a great performance in their matches, but Cat had to sweep the game.
I have to say, I am really, really impressed with the play from Ket here. Their team, compared to some of the other ones, did not have threats that seemed like as scary or didn't accelerate as fast in terms of damage potential, but really, really good plays, really, really good reads, very stable control of the field, very well balanced defenses. I think all of these things were factors in Ket's ability to clutch out that tournament win. So huge congratulations to Ket.
Absolutely
really impressed.
Wonderful stream. And stream did not go to the projected 3 hours we were fearing. So that was actually very reasonably timed, all things considered.
Yep. Yeah, do we want to maybe bring on Ket to talk about the last game at all?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Just give me a moment to switch to maybe this. Also, hi, Ket.
Hi.
Hi, Ket. Welcome.
Hey guys.
Congratulations on the huge win.
Thank you.
You played very well.
I am really curious to hear about what was going through your head playing through those last few games. From our side, it looked like you were getting some really, really incredible reads and had very, very stable control of the game. But how did it feel to you?
No, it was a lot of assuming, I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, oh, I want this on the field later. So let me just switch it out for now. It was really just that. But I'm happy it worked out, you know.
I mean, that's the kind of play that apparently wins tournaments. So,
yeah, makes a lot of sense. No, and yeah, you said that the team that you ended up winning with was built by someone else in the community, right?
Yeah, the second one was made by Charm. So Charm, great team. Shout out to Air Blast.
Did you
use Air Blast itself much? But
yeah, I don't think I saw a single Air Blast in this entire tournament.
Which is crazy because it hits like a truck. Yeah. That shows just how good the whole team was that they didn't need it.
And I think it was a lot of the bird getting shut down, so that really helped.
Right. Yeah. I mean, everyone was aware the bird was scary, so it made sense. Everyone was also kind of going after it to try to shut it down. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the prep you did in advance of the tournament?
It was mostly just playing with other people, getting a hold of my team. I swapped a lot of moves out, really.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, I didn't really change much. I knew Cherifly used to have no attacks on it. It was cheer. It was cheer, drum, and uplift. And then I was like, no, I need reach shot. I want to make people move to the front. I want to shut down attackers. So
we saw a couple teams that were using a no offense Charily and no offense Dig'ems that would end up on the field together and then get stuck in situations. I mean, that happened to you a couple times too, I think, right? We had only the Charily
at the end.
Yeah,
it's a hard thing to get out of because it usually happens when you're low.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so how and what were you worried about? What were your scariest moments? Do you think? Was it the Cherry Dig'em situation?
Getting into that situation was scary. I was worried I would see a lot more traps because I have no way to deal with traps because I was gonna put clear field and I was like, no, I don't need it. But
you didn't need it. You were right. You did that
correct.
correctly.
Yeah, we
And
thought
I
it
I
was
think I think Reverie's was the absolute craziest obstacle that absolutely could have swung any which way.
Right. No,
Scissors,
that was.
I would like to ask you too about like the teams that you used. Did you build both the teams that you used?
Oh,
The second one was built by Charm, and then I built the first one.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
And for
Nice.
scissors.
Yes,
Uh,
Scissors
to
get.
be-
Yeah, Scissors is open to talk. Hi, welcome. Congratulations on still making an absolutely crazy showing.
To be honest, I built both of the teams. Like, my main worry was about Rostodon. Like, that thing is definitely very scary.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason it's on the champions team as well.
I think, to be honest, there's like a few things that I still would change. Like, a lot of moves didn't really get used, especially like Dig on Brostodon. Like, those I never used. Shield on Plum-Mask. Like, I think there's still a lot of room for improvement for like this team.
Something that I was really excited to see was the Sylusk strategy that you were running because no one else was going for Sylusk in the tournament.
And
you
we
had
saw it
Sylusk-
could get big hits when you enabled it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
actually, Lock Target with Rainbow is such a fun combo. It's like I really enjoy that kind of working out.
And for those wondering in chat, everyone here was picked from our Discord community. You can join from. I don't know if Ray can probably drop a link to it if they want, but we're having. This is our first tournament. We wanted to do something to celebrate the final playtest. We are very much hoping to do more tournaments in the future that more people can join.
And we're definitely going to work out some of the little kinks that you saw probably.
Yeah.
But
And there's a reason this was a little bit scuffed. And also remember, the playtest is a week. The players got warning in advance, but they did have a week to build their teams in game.
Yeah, honestly, I want to give congratulations to both of you and any
Yes.
players who are still here. Just the amount of preparation and the level of play that we saw in general was just incredible for how quickly you put these teams together, how little time you had to practice. I mean, this game is not even out yet, and we're seeing already like really impressive play. So yeah, I just want to say congratulations to both of you. Really cool to see.
Yeah,
I would also like to shout out, we had a handful of players that we invited when we were planning and did not end up playing, but we did have them in our back pocket in case someone dropped out at the last minute.
yeah, thank you to our reserve players.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
to our reserve players, including Scotty, Sky Blue Star Moon, and I'm trying to look at
Score?
the members list, and they make it so hard at first. They make it so hard to look at the members.
Yeah, but thank you all so much. Yeah, so if there's nothing else,
Yeah, I think that's the end of the tournament.
yeah,
I
okay.
believe that would be it. Do we want to anything we want to announce here?
I mean, nothing besides the fact that this game is coming out in early access very, very soon before the end of the year. So, if you don't know about this game and somehow this tournament full of incredibly complex strategies and gameplay got you interested in it, then yeah, feel free. You should join our Discord. Check out the game on Steam. Where in fact right now there's a Steam playtest available to anybody who joins. So if you go on Steam right now, you can actually play the beginning of the game. It's available just for the rest of today. So I would encourage anybody to go check it out. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching the stream. This was incredibly fun for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, yeah. Being one of the people who balances the game, it was great to see just all the different strategies coming out, and the players picking up on some of the little things that we put in there. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, I found the other members. I would like to also shout out Ben of the Wacky Monsters, who I believe also runs the Daily Axolotl blog, where they draw our beloved starter Axolotl every day and puts it on Tumblr. That is very cute, very wonderful. And also Score of the Jammin' Ballers, who is a notorious competitive player in the community who wasn't able to make it due to time constraints. They probably would have swept the whole thing.
I saw their team. It was a completely different take than anybody else here. So yeah.
They're on another level of Beastieball.
Yeah. Ket and Scissors and everyone else who participated, congratulations. You all did great, especially with the kind of wonky like 1 week to play the playtest, figure out what's going on, and make a competitively viable team. Like you all did phenomenal.
And I tried to help where I could. It was still everyone put in a lot of hard work. I'm really glad to see it.
All right, thanks everybody.